Right. Maybe this one sounds better for audio. Let me check right now. Right. Maybe this one's better for audio. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, I brought my laptop out. The computer was, the audio was just pissing me off. All right. So, a little quick live, maybe an hour, maybe two. Uh, I thought Chief X was going live, so I wanted to watch what he had. And then I see Sheffrin, or is that his podcast? I think it is. But I thought he was going live at 10:30. So I said, oh wait, I'll watch the game. I'll do some research, come back. But nobody went live. So I'm like, all right, let me go live then. Peace to watching. Let me go live because I got some stuff. You dig? I got some stuff, man. All right. So the first thing here I got is gonna be a question. Matter of fact, let me do this right here. Boom, boom. Got a question for the chat. Oh, Target Big Live. Yeah, he's funny. Um, so I peeked and listened to what he got going on over there. He's getting on Lord Jamar. He's calling Lord Jamar tethered, but Lord Jamar, what I know, he has his dad is Guyanese, but his mom is FBA. So I don't know how, but like I said, he's a funny guy. His lives are funny. Okay, links there, the phone number's there. Um, as you can see, yeah, I last night I fell asleep, man. I was tired as hell. But I woke up late, so that means I had main TSC, so I'm up now. And I'm drinking coffee, by the way. One thing I drank today was coffee. Twice, second time. I could drink coffee late. It doesn't affect me going to bed at all. If I finish this cup, I can lay down and go right to sleep. Yeah, it's crazy. I almost could sleep whenever I want, even when I lay down. All right. So I got a question for the chat. I got a question for the chat. We're gonna be Yo Gotti for a minute. What do I mean? I want y'all to put a date on it. Put a date on this right here. This sound bite. I want y'all to put a date on this sound bite.
So that's why I'm qualifying it after the early '70s when people started coming over from African countries and Caribbean countries, when they started getting vetted after the civil rights movement, the whole vibe changed. So I'm saying, what have they done? Besides, many of them will undermine us. I ain't talking about all of them. I'm not 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 talking about all of them. Let's be very clear. But I had an interaction today with a couple of African bedwenches. And that's another thing. When you look at Shea Butter Twitter, most of Shea Butter Twitter, about 85% of them, they're first and second generation African or Caribbean immigrants. Those women, there's a strong band. So that's why I'm qualifying it after the early '70s when people started coming over from African countries and Caribbean countries, when they started getting vetted after the civil rights movement, the whole vibe changed. So I'm saying, what have they done? Besides, many of them will undermine us. I ain't talking about all of them. I'm not 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 talking about all of them. Let's be very clear. But I had an interaction today with a couple of African bedwenches. And that's another thing. When you look at Shea Butter Twitter, most of Shea Butter Twitter, about 85% of them, they're first and second generation African or Caribbean immigrants. Those women, there's a strong bed. So that's why I.
So now, be honest, this sound like this was this year, maybe last year. This was this was there you go. November 4th, 2018. He was questioning Black immigrants' allegiance. Way back before an FBA, there was really no ADOS like that. As a matter of fact, let me just source that up. Let me go to YouTube. Hold on. But if it was ADOS, it wasn't really buzzing like that. Okay. Let me just make sure. I don't be out here winging it like indigenous Black man. Let me make sure. FBA eviction notices that shot Fat J. Yo, a lot of people going in, a lot of FBA. All right. Let me see. Oh, oh. Okay. All right, let's start with live first. Okay, so lineage, tax reform, like family. I don't see ADOS. I don't see ADOS. Okay, I see ADOS now. Okay, this is for okay. So the first time, at least from his lives, we see ADOS is 4 years ago. Okay, so that's 4 years ago. Okay, it could have been longer. Let's see. We got 9 years ago, nine, but we don't see ADOS. Let's see her. Let's see when we see ADOS. Black America. Okay, so we don't see ADOS just yet. 8 years. We don't Black. Well, they are talking about the wells, but we don't see ADOS in the title at least. So not a title, so it's not really buzzing like that. Okay. I don't see, because we're gonna put date on things, okay? So we got half. Okay, I played that video. This could have been ADOS right here 7 years ago, 6 years ago. Okay, so look, 6 years ago, this could be, I played this already in my life. This could have been ADOS, maybe not. But this is 6 years ago for sure. I mean, this is 8 years ago. I'm sorry, 7 years ago. 7 years. Okay. So let me just find it. Wait, let me see if let's see if it's in a video at all. I don't see ADOS yet. Okay, but I'm sure it's probably ADOS by this time. All right, so let me just put it in there. And he could have been ADOS way back here 9 years ago. My point is, it wasn't really rock. It wasn't. Okay, so so it's for the first time speaks at the ADOS conference 5 years ago. Now I'm sure it probably go back before here. What is this? So at least the hashtag in the title, so if he's not putting the title, you know, So at least we got 5 years ago. He started putting the title. This video is 7 years ago. So Tariq was already on some old, we gotta start watching those black immigrants. Matter of fact, we might have started to draw a line now because they ain't on code as I thought they would be, or that I expect them to be. They're not on code like that. A lot of times they're off code and they're normally on code with white supremacy. This was his mindset. Okay.
So that's why I'm qualifying it after the early '70s when people started coming over from African countries and Caribbean countries when
I
they
remember that date after the 70s, but it's really, I mean, it came in small numbers, but it's really after the 90s. Okay. But this so far is after the 70s, right?
started getting vetted after the civil rights movement, the whole vibe changed. So I'm saying, what have they done? Besides, many of them will undermine us. I ain't talking about all of them. I'm not talking.
Yeah, I got the phone number in there, the Zoom link in there. Anybody want to call in, hit the link. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna go all the way in with the video clips and the sourcing. So I'm gonna just, share some stuff. So you see, look, he got it. Oh, look at the turn. He got American dollars. All right. So this is ADOS, but he also said Native American, uh, Native Black American, something like that. So this could have been ADOS, but as you can see, it wasn't really that popular because I don't think, yeah, he said American DOS. So he acknowledged it, but he didn't say it a lot in the video. So this would be probably the beginnings of ADOS or the beginnings of Tariq finding an interest. If it was existing, it was popping. This is him finding an interest in it. But I don't. But were we ADOS in it? The community, us. Were we talking about ADOS in 2018? Maybe. Were we? I'm trying to think. Now I'm trying to think for myself. 2018. You know what? I gotta go to another channel. All right, because the haters definitely gonna have it in their title. So I don't want to promote their channel. So let me go off the screen to look at theirs because the haters, gonna definitely have it in their somewhere in their stuff. All right, so let me see if this hater of ADOS put a date on it. All right, hold on. All right, here it is. Mm, Nah, nah, his was just 9 months ago. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. So this hater didn't really put a date on it. All right, cool. But again, let me share my screen back over here. As you can see, but this is 2018. I'm sure ADOS wasn't popping like that. But you can see where his mind was at. Like this is when he started to really watch black immigrants' behavior, like how they move. Like, yo, some of y'all cool, but some of y'all, and it's starting to not, some of y'all cool, but too many of y'all are anti, FBA. Because we know some Caribbean family they come over here, they don't listen to their parents about the negative images, or maybe they do, but they give it a fair chance. They meet us for themselves and they say, nah, mom bugging. Same thing with Latinos. Latinos are told, things about Black Americans, FBAs, don't hang around on that. But some of them meet us for ourselves and they be like, nah, they cool, mom. They cool, grandma. Abuela. They cool, abuelo. They're all right. Okay, but some bit the apple that their parents, poison their brain with about FBAs. So again, one more time.
So that's why I'm qualifying it after the early 70s, when people started coming over from African countries and Caribbean countries, when they started getting vetted after the civil rights movement, the whole vibe changed. So I'm saying, what have they done? Besides, many of them will undermine us. I ain't talking about all of them. I'm not 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 talking about all of them. Let's be very clear. But I had an interaction today with a couple of African bedwenches. And that's another thing. When you look at Shay,
And you could tell that this is either the early stages of ADOS or either the early stages of ADOS or ADOS wasn't really around, because he was calling, that's when he's using the term bed wenches for like women off cold, but he would normally refer bed wenches to like black immigrants, because like they were the main ones who were like less than, in his mind, less than over daddy, trying to anchor a baby into that zaddy society. Okay, so let me do this. Play some more clips. All right. I just want to show that he ain't just overnight hop on the ADOS and the six star saying we got delineate. Nah, that wasn't overnight. That was a period, and for him, that was a 7 year, at minimum, a 7 year period before. And I got receipts. I'm gonna show the dates. So at minimum for him, that was a 7 year. Oh, Lord Jamar dropped.
As you assess such an elegant.
Okay, I ain't gonna play it, get flagged, but Lord Jamar had just dropped his single, The Elephant. Okay, all right. The Elephant in the Room, my bad. Right, he put the elephant, but the song tune is like The Elephant in the Room. Okay. So anyway, let me go back. Nah, of course we've been integrated. I'm talking about Michael, Dave, you might be late to the party. I'm saying FBAs, ADOS, freedmen, Black Americans, not all of them, obviously, but the ones on these threads, right, social media, making the noise, are contemplating or doing it, drawing a line to differentiate their blackness from black immigrants. Okay. Black immigrants is saying, no, don't do that. Let's just stay integrated. So that's how I use the word integrate. Delineate means to draw a line, separate. Okay, like y'all still black, but y'all that type of black, we this type of black. Or should we don't draw the line in the sand and integrate and move forward with this Pan-Africanist mindset? That's what I'm talking about, Michael Davis. Of course, we've been integrated in American society for white folks, but should we integrate with our black immigrants as far as like a one movement? Okay, so that's the question for the chat. It's really rhetorical, but it's still worthy of an answer. All right, so let me go here. I'm gonna play a clip. I figure some of y'all, it's Saturday night. I figure somebody up, had our okay, so hold on. All right, let me go to my clips. Okay, so I'm gonna show you clips from 2018. This is for anybody like so-called exposing or these little weird videos.
Both ends of the floor. And this is an impressive.
Stop. And NBA bullshit. Okay. All right. So okay. Damn, it's a lot. Like, which one I did today? Damn, so many. All right, so let's just go here. Listen. You know what? Maybe I could do it like this. Let me play. I play it. No. I already did this. Okay, let me go here. Listen.
When a lot of these Caribbean and African immigrants come over here, they go out of their way to distance themselves from us. We become all types of akatas. They don't identify with us. I ain't about to cape for them either. For the most part, while you want to be real, I'm cool with a lot of people who are Caribbean and African, but I'm talking
November. I'm gonna show you. This is November 2nd, 2018.
about on a group level. Let's keep this thing 100 now. Let's keep this thing 100. Some of the black immigrants, they are no better. Some of the black immigrants are no better. I understand all victims of white supremacy are equal, but understand, some of these black immigrants come over here, they are team white supremacy all day. You ain't seen no bedwenching until you seen one of these Caribbean or African bedwenches. These first and second generation ones, let me tell you.
So again, that is 2018. Give me a second. Let the dog out. Go. Okay. See, I knew it's gonna keep doing it. I got it. That's gonna make it tough. All right. All right. So as you can see, this is a way to. Okay, ain't gonna do it. All right, now watch this. Here's another one. All to 2018. Okay, this remember that lady, that black immigrant lady who climbed the Statue of Liberty for like some PR stunt to raise awareness with some immigration policy. So he's covering that on this video.
They usually hire those Caribbean and African immigrants to work in liberal media and even right-wing media. But they hire many of them to work in media to represent the voice of black people, and they're not even from here. There's a very good reason why they do that. The white supremacists just don't do shit to be doing it. The white supremacists, they know they're Negroes. They usually hire those Caribbean and African immigrants to work in liberal media and even right-wing media. But they hire many of them to work in media to represent.
Go. Now watch this. One more. Or one more from this video. I'm using.
Somebody in the chat room pointed something out recently on BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed did an article, and I just told y'all about BuzzFeed earlier. They try to be all liberal and all this shit, and BuzzFeed did this article. They were talking about how come all of these rappers are not held accountable for their sexual assault. I said, wait a minute. Even before I saw the author of that, I said, first of all, they either got a gay black dude.
Okay, because at this point, there was a lot of, I remember his lies and he was sourcing up. At this point, there was a lot of gay blacks, and look, and nobody ever thought to figure out which type of black they are, because we just lumped them up as all black, right? But there was a lot of them, so they could have been black immigrants too. We just assumed they were black FBA, right? But at this point in time he's talking about, you had a lot of gay blacks who we felt were off code, and they were siding with people of their same belief rather than what's right or wrong in racial matters. Okay, so we felt like, especially him, we felt like they were siding with the ops. So that's why he's referencing gay. So he said the writers of this particular thing, BuzzFeed, whatever it is, he felt like, okay, there's some hard stuff about FB that there's just left pocket. It's never about Africans, what they got going on in Africa and how they can get better. It's never about the Caribbean and what they can do better in their homeland. It's always about ratchet FBA society. And it's never like, all right, so that's what he's referencing when he says gay black, because at that time it was like, which one of these three, which one of these three is really attacking us that we could like identify as the op and delineate. If it's the LGBTQI plus and black community, we gotta do it then. We gotta delineate. But it ended up being a 2 out of 3. It ended up being black immigrants, some of them, and some of the on a large scale, and some of the black immigrants. All right, wait, one more time.
Somebody in the chat room pointed something out recently on BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed did an article, and I just told y'all about BuzzFeed earlier. They try to be all liberal and all this shit, and BuzzFeed did this article. They were talking about how come all of these rappers are not held accountable for their sexual assault. I said, wait a minute. Even before I saw the author of that, I said, first of all, they either got a gay black dude or some bedwench mammy from the Caribbean or Africa to write this story. I already knew just from the headlines. I already knew. When you see BuzzFeed, Huffington Post, one of these publications, and they got an article talking about how black rappers are bad, black men are this, black people are that, black Americans this, black, I can almost 9 times out of 10, it's an African or Caribbean writer or somebody
living an alternative lifestyle. So this is way back when that black immigrant climbed the Statue of Liberty. All right, so here's something else. So again, like, we could see the evolution of how he ended up saying, wait a minute, we got a problem. I think we got a problem. He said, like, nah, there is something with these black immigrants that's so off cold that we gotta say, yo, we cool. Like, we cool, but we cool. You did? We cool, but we cool. You're not our enemies because y'all ain't take it there, but yeah, really ain't our allies either. So we just cool with you. Casual relationship, but because we don't know which of you, all we see is what we see. We don't know which one. And y'all ain't saying, y'all ain't speaking out against those from doing that. So the fact we gotta speak out against them, shit, y'all all in together maybe.
When you climb the Statue of Liberty on the 4th of July to raise consciousness about the callous manner in which our government is treating asylum seekers, literally ripping tender-age children from nursing mothers and placing them in...
So by the way, at this point, he's actually reading a Twitter quote from the black immigrant who climbed the Statue of Liberty. Now, this is a black immigrant, so again, he's starting to put the puzzle together. Like, damn, most of the negative comments against his talking points or black FBA society, period, when they're black, it's starting to favorably come from folks with the flags. So listen, he's gonna read this comment from the African woman who's clicked up with a lot of like immigration, like Hispanics or whatever. So here we go.
Climbed the Statue of Liberty on the 4th of July to raise consciousness about the callous manner in which our government is treating asylum seekers, literally ripping tender-age children from nursing mothers and placing them in cages and building concentration camps, while the black community publicly silences you from public speaking, and the rest of the world does not reach out to help you, but you use your story anyway. Then we've lost our humanity. This raggedy bedwench sat up here and took a shot at American black people. This Mammy Coon, I told y'all she was funny style. She's up here making posts talking about the black community is trying to silence her. We don't even fuck with you like that, lady. So she's dog whistling to the white supremacists. Read this shit and just take a read it. When you climb the Statue of Liberty.
So as you can see, he like, yo, why are you, what you mean, black folks? Like, that's some IBM claim. So all of us are trying to silence you. We don't give a damn about you. Like me, I didn't care about that fool did up there. But all of the blacks get blamed for it. And this is what they've been taught from their own mouths prior to coming over here. It's all of us. All of us are gangsters. We watched Boys in the Hood, we watched Menace to Society, and we watched Belly. And based off those three movies, all of you blacks are gangsters and drug dealers. Wow, all of you. But when we look at Africa from a white supremacist lens, and we see the starvation, the shanty homes, the shanty towns, the filth, the no shoes, don't really speak English, the no education, like the hospital is like so tiny. Well, that's from a white supremacist lens, just like the movies that you watch about us. But if we held y'all to those stereotypes or for that TV reality or documentary reality, you would cry foul. But you justify your movie black reality about us because you watched a movie, a grown-ass adult who's supposed to be smart, who's supposed to come over here and do better than black folks. You watched the movie, and that was enough to tell you. So movies are documentaries now. Oh, I mean, in the movie, I'm sure it says somewhere it's false. Like, so you don't know a movie is fake? You think those bullets were real? You think somebody recorded these gangster lives? Like they did what these thugs do now. They just selfied themselves in the hood. Like a cameraman, like cops. A cameraman just followed these thugs like cops.
Liberty on the 4th of July to raise consciousness about the callous manner in which our government is treating asylum seekers, literally ripping tender-age children from nursing mothers.
I already read that. Let's move on.
I told y'all, man, we got to watch some of these people who come over here and try to get brownie points from white mommy and white daddy by throwing us under the bus. They're very good at doing that. They're very good at pulling that bullshit. And we got to start checking these folks.
Right. So Saint said, should we judge all Somalis based on Captain Phillips? Should we assume that they are all pirates and corrupt in nature? And matter of fact, I'm gonna pull that live up as I'm playing these videos. See, I can hear it from their mouths. And then I was trying to ask them questions directly about that. Like, so you watch, so there's no movies, there's no Denzel movies, there's no Cuban Gooding, there's no Wesley Snipes movies, there's no, so you don't watch sitcoms, Steve Urkel, and none of the Jimmy Fox show. Y'all just watch gangster movies all day long. So you don't watch Rambo or Taken, where a white guy killed 30,000 million people because of his one daughter who got kidnapped. So y'all don't watch Steven Seagal just excessive. I mean, there's a movie called Excessive Force, by the way, about a white cop who just beating everybody ass and killing people. He ain't arresting nobody. Steve Seagal don't rest nobody. So, well, how come you don't have this bias against the police officers who come over here? Like, and white people in general, like these guys kill everybody in their movies. So so when I asked them that, I'm gonna find that video. We're gonna hear their response and then they really gave me the flim flam and moved away from it, and we were arguing something else retarded.
We got to start checking these people. You dig? And did y'all see, speaking of these foreigners that we got to check, a lot of these Dominicans, we got to check some of these folks. I told y'all.
You can see he's getting on Dominicans too, because he was seeing a lot of things that they were saying about FBA's, ADOS, Freeman, whatever you call yourself, as long as you're Black American, I'm talking about you. Okay, he was addressing them because they've been saying some low key stuff when they get a chance about FBAs. It's like, why? Yeah, why are we on your mind rent? Why are we in your head rent free? Listen,
those African ladies bed wenching. That's how they come up. Bed wenching that's the wave. Bed wenching is the global wave now. These women can't wait to be bed wenches. A lot of them, boy, they get over there the minute they touch down to Europe. I saw some documentary, some news report, but some of these women, the minute they get to Europe, they go find a white man to knock them up so they can have an anchor baby. I mean, literally.
Me Bidney's made a great point. He said most movies and TV shows back with FBAs were by a huge margin, positive and funny, not gangster. Exactly. So it's like, so again, yeah, I'm going to find the clip where I spoke to him directly. Watch their answers. I just think.
They go, the first white dude that'll fuck them, they go, bed wenching. That's how they come up. Bed wenching that's the wave. Bed wenching is.
So as you can see, most of his pushback from Black immigrants were mainly the women, because most, not most, but a lot of times we see in also they show pictures of them with a white man married and he's a kente cloth, and we would laugh over in America. We would laugh just like how they laugh at us when we do goofy stuff. We'll laugh at them. You got the white man in kente cloths, dashikis, and things like that. And like he said, like they will move. A white man moves to Africa and he's finding a Black queen immediately, a Black African queen immediately. He gonna have kids and everything. If the Chinese over there, I think it's 1 million Chinese folks in Africa, and they're marrying African women like crazy. So that's what he was addressing. Like, yo, what's up with y'all? Like why y'all think marrying white men and Chinese men are come ups? Like, yo, y'all got no self-dignity? Like, what y'all doing? And so that's why he started getting a lot of pushback from these Black immigrants. It was mainly women, and he was calling them bed wenches. He didn't have no term, like no delineation term, because he also called Black women, FBA women that did the same thing, bed wenches. So like there was no real term to differentiate between FBA women and Black immigrants, because he was still seeing them as a whole, like we're all Black.
The global wave now. These women can't wait to be bed wenches. A lot of them, boy, they get over there the minute they touch down to Europe. I saw some documentary, some news report, but some of these women, the minute they get to Europe, they go find a white man to knock them up so they can have an anchor baby. I mean, literally, they go, the first white dude that'll fuck them, they go over there and have an anchor baby. And that's because, and I always put it on the system of white supremacy. This is why we got to acknowledge it so that we can do something about it. See, we don't want to, you got to slap niggas around to get them to acknowledge it.
Right. I mean, it's countless videos of white people going to Africa and they become Jesus. They dress up as Jesus, and the whole town just bowing down. And like Saint said, he said the so-called white man goes to Africa and they offer him many wives, right? Delineate. He said, but they also are proud to be African. Yeah, it's like, yo, which one is it?
A lot of niggas don't want to acknowledge it. And then when some people do acknowledge it, they start talking dumb shit that they ain't gonna do. Those African ladies.
So one more before I find the clip.
Now, so what they do, they'll adopt the bottom of the barrel of black society, meaning the stereotypes. A lot of people who have Caribbean parents.
So remember what we heard from their own mouths, that their parents teach them the stereotypes about FBAs, right? So now this is what date is this? This is October 4th, 2018. So it seems like the latter part of 2018, he started to come to this revelation, like, wow, wait a minute. Maybe we ain't as on cold as I thought we were with our black immigrant family. Like, whoa. Like now, like, because he's up until this point, he's on a plane ride with them, you know, going to the promised land. But now he like low key put on his parachute while they all clapping and doing all goofy shit in the plane. He low key put on his parachute. Let me hop off this fucking plane. Yo, these dudes wilding. Yo, where they really taking us? I thought we were going to the promised land. Let me check that map. I think we going to South Africa somewhere. Shit, Russia. Let me get up. Let me hop off this damn plane.
What they do, they'll adopt the bottom of the barrel of black society, meaning the stereotypes. A lot of people who have Caribbean parents or non-native black parents, and I always talk about this, like the Loveys and all these people, they adopt stereotypical shit of black society. So they become caricatures. So they look at black society the way white supremacists look at black society. So when you're looking at the show, I know he's listening, by the way. So when you're looking at the show, it's always some old over the top, out of date slang, over exaggerated niggatry. Yo, fuck, what the fuck? Yo, suck my motherfucking dick. Yeah. It's always some extra yo, word to the mother shit. And it's mad corny, and it's that shit that white folks like. They like that type of shit. You understand? So what they do.
Right. So you see, he's saying what they do is they come over here and they start borrowing those stereotypes about how they think of us, and they cosplay those stereotypes as like humor amongst themselves. Kind of like blackface with the Klan and Jim Crow whites. Okay. All right. So I'm here. I'm gonna pull up the clip where I asked our okay. So I thought it was this one. Okay, it wasn't this one. He came on this one, but it was, you know, this was funny. Hold on. This was funny right here. Okay. African American by this white man in 1835. It didn't change shit. Now watch this. From Emancipation Proclamation all the way until 1868. It's okay, so now this is me, some bias sports. I know Black American history. All right? Okay, so I know Black American history. That's why it's just me talking to the Stu Pease from Jamaica. You got the right guy. So from 1835 until 1968, the word African American was conceived from a white guy. So identify. Make another point. Let me get to the point I was making, where he challenged me. Okay. So here he is. So he's going to ask me a question. Watch this.
Okay. You made an assumption there. The first thing you referred to was the proclamation of the Proclamation of Emancipation. Yeah. And I can tell that you have never read it. You have never.
So he said, I can tell you have never read it. I'm like, wow, that's a bold claim. Like, how are you going to prove that? All right, so let me go back, because I mentioned it to make my point, and he asked me about it and said, I can tell you never read it. And he's going to proved to me. I never read it. I was waiting, like, wow, okay, I got my popcorn. I'm like, okay, show me how I never read the Emancipation Proclamation. Please show me this.
Assumption there. The first thing you referred to was the the Proclamation of Emancipation.
Okay, so me business said me business. That's funny. He said, I think it was the movie Us that helped him and FBI identify the tethers among them. They cosplay FBA while carrying this thing against FBA. Hey, you might be onto something. Let me see. When was that movie put out? Oh, 2019. Yeah, because he was having these thoughts already in 2018, right? The end of 2018, the latter part, and then the movie came out. Because he did a reaction, and yo, I gotta find his reaction on that. Yo, good, thank you, man. Me business. Okay, thank you for that one. And now, by the way, I never watched this because it's kind of I'm not into like scary movies like that. I'm good because I never have nightmares and I'm good. Because my dreams are crazy and they come, I can't control none of them, and they come at the wrong time. The time I need all my sleep, because I'm going to bed late, maybe only got 4 hours left, I'll dream about some scary shit and wake up like, what's up? Because my scary dreams seem like they real. All right, so that was a good point. Peace, SMH. Yeah.
And I can tell that you have never read it. You have never read the Proclamation of Emancipation.
Okay. Source up.
And the reason why I know that you have never read the Proclamation of Emancipation, nowhere in the Proclamation of Emancipation does the color of the slave ever come into
Speaking of SMH, there he go in the background laughing.
consideration. When when Lincoln made reference to the people to be freed, he said, persons held in slavery. There is no color in the Proclamation of Emancipation. So therefore, using it to as an identifier as what people were called at the time, Abraham Lincoln called them persons held in slavery. He made no mention of their color.
Hey, yo, he said they made no mention of their color. At this time, it was white people enslaving black people. Who the hell are they emancipating? Yo, this probably was the dumbest statement of all 2025, and I got the soundbite. So I'm listening like, who else was here with us? Aliens? Like, yo, who do you think we're being emancipated? I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, at all, like, yo, who do you think? I'm like, yo, do you think FBAs were like Jamaicans or something? Like, I'm like confused. One more time.
And personifier as what people were called at the time.
And that's why we say, tell no lies about us, and we will tell no truths about you. Look how far they gotta go to lie, undermine, because I made a great point about where I was going, and look what he did. He tried to undermine, which, you know, what comes with that. He tried to undermine my point to stretch some BS like this, some garbage like this. I'm sitting there like, yo, I know you won't think white folks were emancipating some other white folks. Like, I just don't understand where he's going. So now, by the way, I'm listening in total silence. My phone is not mute. It's not muted. I got discipline. He doesn't. So when I went after this, he went buck wild. Now he said, I'm wrong. He said, I never read it. He's throwing shots, being disrespectful. After I said I read it, he said I didn't read it. And then came with this chasing ass argument. And I was quiet the whole time. And then when I go to speak, I didn't insult him. I didn't call him dumb. But this was dumb. And this was one of the dumbest statements of all 2025. All races, all genders, all sexes. This was the dumbest statement of all 2025.
Abraham Lincoln called them persons held in slavery. He made no mention of their color. So when you're using the proclamation to justify what people are called, he didn't mention their color. So I know that you've never read it.
So based off that, he know I never read it.
I dare you to dispute me on that fact.
Okay. Okay, so he said, I dare you to dispute that fact. Okay. I'm like, okay. But he didn't let me. Thanks,
Right? You have to admit that you've never read it. Have you ever read it?
Yes, I did.
Is there any mention of the color of the slave in the proclamation in the
Nope.
Emancipation?
Nope. But when I
So
mentioned
why did you So why did you mention
the question, I go to answer, I answer, okay, he said yes or no, I answer. Okay, I went to expound, I can't expound. So now he's gonna ask another question.
the proclamation of emancipation
Okay.
to justify what people are being called?
Okay, good question. Because when you mention, when I mention abolishment of slavery, I'm coupling it with 65 and 68. 65 and 68. To me, they go hand in hand. Go ahead.
But they can't. They can't. And your reasoning weak and your logic weak for using it.
Okay, so you see who's getting emotional. I'm weak. My logic is weak. I never read it. And this why I knew I got him. So I said, okay, you know how Kamala say, or who was saying that? Was it Kamala? If they go low, we go high. I said, you know what? Let me take Kamala advice right here. Let me go high.
Justify the color. Abraham Lincoln never mentioned any color. So your reasoning for using the proclamation was weak, and your logic for using it was even weaker.
The chat doesn't think so, but go ahead.
No, because the chat don't know.
Disrespectful. He's ad hominems. I'm not falling for it.
Most of the chat has never read it.
Okay.
This is news to the chat. Most of the chat has never read the proclamation. And it referred to people as persons. The beautiful thing about the proclamation is that because it eliminated color, if we should stand by the proclamation and say, okay, persons held in slavery should be freed, that means he's calling them persons. Okay, interrupting me now.
Again, I'm interrupting him. I said, so, bro, this is now you see, he's the one with the emotions. I'm interrupting him. He's calling me names. He's saying I didn't read it. I got a weak argument. And he's building a stronger case for himself that he thinks. So now I'm like trying to cut in, like, well, you're interrupting me. It's like, no, just say you're not finished. I'm not purposely interrupting you. I don't care. I think what you're saying is stupid, and I think I can refute it very easily, but go. Like, I'm okay. I'm confident that I'm gonna rip this apart, but go. Go ahead.
Persons, just as how we call white people persons, Chinese people persons, Italian people persons, British people persons. So he was basically saying that there's no separation of freedom based on color because he didn't identify color as a matrix to determine whether a man is a person or is not a person. That's a beautiful thing about the proclamation. If you read it and break it down, it will tell you.
Okay, he said if you read it and break it down, it will tell you. Go ahead.
That he called.
Come on, he said break it down. Because the Constitution is always broke down when people read it, when people read it.
Call them persons, just like how he would identify white people as persons. So the proclamation not only give you freedom, but give you a sense of equality. He was trying to remove that barrier or that indicator to say, oh, that person is a good black actor. No, that person is a good actor because person, the terminology person has no racial identifier. He insisted in the proclamation that anyone, whether it want to be white or black, that is held in slavery, any person that is held in slavery should be free. So when you're trying to use the Proclamation of Independence to determine that the color was identified, it was not. Now we'll move on to the other arguments that you have with Tyreek Nasheed. Tyreek Nasheed said, no.
He dared me to dispute it, but he want to move on to a segment. Okay, cool. All right, but here we go.
retarded nonsense. And you need to don't
That's IBM.
worry about what you mean. Disrespect.
Blessings, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. FBA means. So I'm keeping it 100. I don't care if 100% of niggas don't know what FBA means. We foundational. Claim your own.
Even the beautiful word that he uses, what word is delineate?
Delineate, right.
Delineate. We're not rocking with Jamaica, Africa, or none of that. We are foundational Black Americans. We are Black Americans. We cutting Africa off.
So, and could you define delineate for me, please? Because I don't understand what it means. I disagree with me on that area.
I will.
Or more, because most FBA.
So I come from the ghetto a lot.
Still, hey, still, how about rather land your plane? Because I do want to address the things you said.
Okay, all right. Let's leave that plane. Did you find the meaning of the word delineation?
Oh yeah. It's a set of border. It's basically a draw line. It's a draw line.
So delineation means to draw a line.
Yeah, it's a set of border, right?
So
It's a verb.
when FBA use the term delineation, what does it mean to you, unbiased?
It's to draw a line. This is how far we're gonna go as far as trying to be all on code and all on one accord. That's what I get from it.
So you're going to delineate based on the fact that you have never really had interaction with immigrants if you live outside of urban areas.
Yeah, shit. White folks, Jim Crow, Black Americans, and most of them ain't interact with us.
So if you live outside of urban areas, what your knowledge of immigrants is based on?
Well, that's an unfair question because the internet is like global, so people interact with different people all the time and never met them, and based off their experience, they can feel like, hey, that's enough. So that's enough for me. I don't like this person for whatever reason.
Okay.
Hey, I'm
so
buying sports. 2-piece. Can I say something really quick?
Okay.
If I back with from
I'm trying to get some.
areas in the diaspora, Trinidad.
How much time you got, 2-piece?
Because hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. So I believe Stu Pease was trying to talk about everything else, but let me dispute what he said. So I'm saying, Stu Pease, can you just land your plane, stop asking questions, land your plane so I can go?
For example, of more directly affected.
Hold on, guys. I'm the person who got to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. So I want Stu Pease just to land his plane without the questions so I can come behind him because I do want to respond. And if you keep asking questions, I will never get a chance to respond. I got to, go to bed.
My plane land.
Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen or Emancipation Proclamation. Okay, so now he said, I dare you to dispute it. He called me names, weak logic. Well, he didn't call me a name, but he's saying my logic is weak. I'm weak in some regard, and I never read the Emancipation Proclamation. Only he read it. No FBA did. He said even chat never read it. So so FBAs are just dumb. Jamaicans are just smart. Okay, here we go. Because you claim I never read it, which is to me I find disrespectful. Because again, hold on. You don't have these books, by the way. You don't have Slavery by Another Name. You don't have the New Jim Crow. You don't have this right here. You don't have, you might have this, you might not. But I take pride of who I am in this country. I take pride. I got other books of Dr. King. I got other books of civil rights movement. So I find it disrespectful to tell me, a Black American, FBA identified, self-identified, that I don't know what the Emancipation Proclamation is. So I got my screen share for you, my brother, because you said race wasn't specified here. Okay. Well, Wikipedia says the Emancipation Proclamation, officially Proclamation 95, was a presidential proclamation and executive order issued by United States President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863, during the American Civil War. The proclamation had the effect of changing the legal status of more than 3 million enslaved African Americans. It does not say persons.
And again, if you read the
so So look, wait,
transcript of the
wait,
conversation.
I'm not done. But this is wait, hold on. Look, I'm still going. Now remember, he said you cut me off earlier. All I said was so. You cut me off. Now it's my turn to talk. The guy cut right in, and look at the insults. They're gonna fly. I'm not done. You dropped in. You went. I was quiet.
Read the transcript itself.
Okay,
Read
I got you, my brother. But this,
Read the
okay,
transcript itself.
so he went crazy. He hopped in. He hopped in, brother. This is gonna be dumb. This guy's wild.
You are dumb because I asked you to read the transcript. The
Okay.
transcript does not.
No. Well,
There's no
okay.
mention of race in the transcript. Stop being
Okay,
dumb.
look. Now
Stop
look.
being dumb.
He hops in. He hops in. He called me dumb like 100 times. He hops in. He hops in. Look at him. He's out of control. I heard him out. I disagreed. But he tried to break down the Emancipation Proclamation. Hear me out, and you can disagree, and we can go from there. But he won't even hear me out.
Is available. The transcript.
Okay. I gotta mute you. He hops in and he does the first personal text. First at
You're being dumb. I'm coming out because you're stupid. You're stupid.
So now he's calling me stupid, yo. The first personal text. First at
You're being dumb. I'm coming out because you're stupid. You're stupid.
Okay. I'm gonna put you in the waiting room. Okay. I'm so stupid. I'm gonna put you in the waiting room. So I was trying to just have a dialogue with the guy. So after I give you, because he gave me his interpretation of what the Emancipation Proclamation was addressing and what it was for, what happened. I'm giving him what I believe it was for and what happened.
Hey, Unbiased Sports. Can I say something real quick?
Oh, he's mad as hell right now. That's why I said most people can't fuck with me to click the link. Go ahead, bro.
So I have had.
Let me just say, the entire Constitution, for the most part, is up for interpretation. This is why Congress and all people be arguing and make rulings, because it's not clear language. It's not absolute language. The Constitution, everybody knows, for the most part, large parts of it is up for interpretation. Okay? Up for interpretation. That's why some states will interpret this way and pass their laws based on that, and other states would use it. Like for example, the tri-state would not let us bear arms, right? You have to be a licensed officer or work with armed security, but you could not be a regular New Jersey resident, New York resident, Philadelphia resident walking around with a gun, concealed or unconcealed. It was that was a guaranteed 3 to 5 years, guaranteed, minimum 3 years, 3 to 5 years, minimum 3. I think the most 5, the minimum 3. If you get caught with a gun and you don't, it's not, and you can't even get a license. You can try it, like you don't get licensed. You need special reasons to be armed in the tri-state. And those special reasons, 1 and 2, armed security work, like a brake truck, something like that, or a police officer. So that means most people were not going to be able to carry a gun. Okay, that's how New Jersey, the tri-state, interpret the Second Amendment. Okay. I think my son waking up.
Had Somalian brothers tell me personally that the social workers, the caseworkers that process their immigration, that bring them to the Americas, show them all the negative connotations of Black Americans and specifically tell them to stay away from us, number one.
Oh, yeah, he knows that.
I done heard it out the horse's mouth, literally, right? I done had OGs up here, elders up here tell me that when they hold the door for Ethiopian women, that the Ethiopian men get mad. They just can't fight, so they can't beat us up and say nothing about it.
Right.
But they get mad about it, right? I've seen Ethiopians at the airport when I worked at the airport smile and grin when so-called white people come through the airport. But when our brothers and sisters come to the airport, it ruins their day. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen West Africans hire East Africans over Black Americans when we have direct genetic ties to West Africans, and East Africans are of a different haplogroup than West Africans and African Americans. So, and I've heard the testimonies from young brothers up here, from elders up here. This one elder told me that an Ethiopian man told him they teach in their community that black people are inherently felons. Literally. So I done seen it. I done seen it. I done had Ethiopians tell me that they practice cultural racism against black Americans. I done had West Africans tell me that they do it. I've had the people that he said that clearly we're all wrong, right? I've had them literally confess with their own mouths that they are raised to believe that they are better than us. Thus, force the delineation is necessary.
Right. So now, look. You see, when he spoke, because I know he can't fuck with me, I can be absolutely quiet. So I was leading by example. Okay, he's mad. I'm reading a Wikipedia article. He's trying to say, no, you got to read the Declaration. Bro, it's something called interpretation. We can interpret, first of all, American law across the board is up to interpretation, stupid. So you're actually the dumb one, not me. America law, the amendments, the Constitution is all up for interpretation. Okay, so that was my point. The tri-state interpreted the Second Amendment differently than the other states. The other states said, nah, you can carry, and some said conceal, and some said unconcealed, but tri-state said, nah, you ain't gonna carry it all. So they interpreted differently. And what happened? Recently, it got shot down, right? With Roe versus Wade, that got shot down too as unconstitutional. So they were saying New York, New Jersey, the city of Philadelphia, the way I interpret this in the Constitution, we believe is unconstitutional. Shot down, reversal. Roe versus Wade, reversal. It's not a right to have an abortion. Reversal. State can decide. All right. So now let me read some comments. Me Biden said I gotta watch it. All right, maybe I'll check it out. He said the institution of slavery in the U.S. during the 18th and 19th centuries was overwhelmingly racialized, targeting Black people. That's the type of dude that lacks the ability to comprehend context. Right. Tethers of a saint says tethers of a feather flock together, which I kind of agree. They all have the same white supremacist talking points. You can't make this up. This is why the Jamaican dollar is not worth lint in one's pocket. Wow. SMA says Stu P's only God know who won't buy Jordan. Yeah, Stu estimates on that still. Saint says this is why Jamaicans see pride in America more than Jamaica. They're ashamed of their homeland. I agree. Some of the strongest cases of Stockholm syndrome case right out of Jamaica. Yeah, I gotta agree with that. This guy, now look, so now what you've seen was a Wikipedia source, right? So let me do this. Okay. So I'm gonna just go somewhere random. Okay, I already did Wikipedia. I'm gonna go somewhere random. Okay, watch this. This is random. You see this is random. January 1st, New Year's, 1863. Emancipation Proclamation edict issued by U.S. President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863 that freed the enslaved people. Okay. No, no color. Look, they freed the enslaved people. What do you mean color? Look how this is being interpreted. This is Britannica. Britannica says they freed the enslaved people. Look at this. President Abraham Lincoln. This is archives.gov. The proclamation declared that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are, bro, what person are being held as slaves during the rebellious states? This is, like he said, good point. Context is just, they don't consider it. Okay, where else do I got to read? Where else? Well, National Archives, okay. Enslaved people. I didn't see persons. He said persons. Okay, but look how they are defining it. Okay, so I'm gonna go to history.com. I'm gonna do a few links. Say.com. Okay. All right, that's it. I'm gonna do a few of these. That's it. Okay. Agree. Okay, so watch this. Look, where does it say colored? This guy said it said colored. He said it talked about colored people, colored persons. Where do you see colored persons in all these articles? So are they missing? Are they dumb too? Are they stupid too? Because they're interpreting it or looking through the context like I did. Look at this. Uh, I all enslaved people in the states currently engaged in rebellion against the U.S. Currently, dude, this is timestamp. This ain't for everybody. What is he talking about? Currently, they put it. Remember, they put a date on it. That's the phrase of today. Put a date on it. Yo, Gotti. They put a date on it. You know, all enslaved people in the United States currently engaged in rebellious states in the Union shall be freed then, thenceforth, and forever freed. What is he talking about? Everybody it says we keep reading enslaved people, African American. Why is Stupi saying the Jamaican? Why is he saying colored persons? Like you said, that is a white supremacist argument. No, it really said indentured servants. It didn't say slaves at all. It said indentured servants. Or these are contracts. These are H-1B visas. So this is how Stupi's really want to read this. On September 22nd, 1862, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Preliminary Emancipation Proclamation, which declared that as of January 1st, 1863, all H-1B visas, all persons holding on to H-1B visas in the states currently contracted them in business shall be what? Free to work at other places? Like that's how he wants to change where it says all enslaved people. He wants to change that to all persons, because that's his term, persons. He wants to change to all persons holding an H-1B visa. That's what we're trying to rewrite history. And Tone Talk's going to talk about that in one of my clips. They want to rewrite history. They want to erase slavery. Stu P just did it. They want to erase, like, when you erase slavery, we don't exist. We go away. We go bye-bye. Elon Musk and Vivek, they too, specifically, along with Stu P, three of them, they want to erase slavery. They want to say all persons, H-1B visas, all this garbage. All right. Okay. 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 Watch this. Now here goes Stu P's language. All persons held as slaves. See, it said all persons. That's you, that's me, that's the white man. That's a white man too. The white man is a person. The white man was a slave at one point. The word slave comes from Slovenia, Slavs in Russia. The white man was the first slave. Like that's where he's trying to go with this. B. Business said it's up for interpretation when there's actually ambiguity. He said the proclamation of emancipation is not even ambiguous. That smart Jamaican, as he put smart quotation, that smart Jamaican is the only one confused about the intent of the proclamation. Yeah. That's why he's over talk and ran off. Well, he did flee from the conversation, right? He over talked. I put him in the back chat just so I could finish my thought, and I was gonna put him back up because I don't kick nobody off unless you get totally disrespectful. Like he was going, but I didn't want to kick him off. I wanted to have this conversation with him. So I put him in the back chat in the waiting room, and I was gonna bring him back on, but he fled. He fled from the fight. He fled from the conversation. Okay. So let me go find let me go find the original, well, the live before when they came on and they were talking that old the movies influence. You got Sarah Susetti going crazy. Check out Sarah Susetti. He be saying some interesting things. He did. Okay. So let me, what's this? What's notifications? Okay, so let me go. Oh, let me find the video. The video where it might be this one. No, I might have been at work on this. I think it's actually this one. I hope it is. Dang. Because it could be this one too. I got a feeling it's this one. I got a feeling it's this one. Hold on. Let me check. Now, I doubt if he hop on a garbage topic. I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah, it can't be this one. Yeah, he's not gonna hop on a garbage. Yeah, he ain't that crazy. Yeah. Maybe I get an avatar. Everybody get an avatar. All right, I'm gonna get an avatar. Yeah, I didn't think it was the garbage one.
Hey, man, you know, they try to put us against these people, but they really are family. So yeah, so I have no problem with the FBA movement. What I do think, I just don't think it's a good thing for us.
Well, have you been in on the space when you have a bunch?
How long ago was the video? Like, where the hell is it? Damn. Yeah, thanks to y'all donations and cash apps, I keep my premium account. I already had it, but I keep it. So when I get sent some little coins, and now I gotta invest in a microphone somehow for some of these coins. All right, so let me see. So it must have been before the Marcus Garvey. So it could have been this. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up. It had to be like a long live, right? I don't think it's anything short.
I don't think that's totally true. A lot of these
This is, I got it. 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 All right. Okay. This is it. Yeah, I didn't think they hopped on a Garvey live. Like, they ain't crazy. So it wasn't a Garvey live like I thought it was. Come on. I'm gonna point out the movie thing where they both, Stu Pease and this Trinidadian brother, well, I can't call him brother. Like these guys, he came over acting like he was so sincere, so unbiased, so fair. But where he at? He ain't come back. Okay, so dudes be tethering, man. Shit. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, so here we are. So let's go to the discussion of the movies. Okay, so you see, they're everything black immigrant, not black immigrants claim what they see from black FBA Americans. Where, oh, all the violence from the movies, y'all ain't working. Okay, so while we're committing crime ain't working, what are you doing? No, so this wasn't a challenge. Let me get to the challenge. Here's the challenge. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Those all the negative connotations. That's interesting.
Now, I want to say, since they reference movies, bro, what movie you ever watched that Jamaican wasn't loud as hell? And cussing or acting a fool? Like, bro, what movie? I don't think he hopped on just yet. I don't think he hopped on just yet. The movie where Jamaican, God damn. It had to be like an hour or two in the dialogue.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson.
All right, got it. So yeah, so they were here. All right, so look at the justification, the movies.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson was portrayed in his first real big movie, Pulp Fiction. He wasn't a nice guy. Denzel Washington is the only exception to the rule. And
he said Denzel Washington, basically he's saying Denzel Washington was the only FBA actor to play a positive role.
And Will Smith maybe, but Will Smith had to gate up first. 6 degrees of separation.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
But when you look at it, we're portrayed in movies, and then now immigrants who watch those movies and believe those movies,
Immigrants that watch those movies and believe those movies. Why would smart immigrants watch movies about another person? No documentary, no interviews, but just watch movies. And again, now look, I'm going to try to pin them down. I want them to say it one more time.
No, immigrants who watch those movies and believe those movies, believe that that is what the average black person is. Because we have to.
So you watched a movie of 7 actors and maybe 3 actresses, and you believe 43 million are reflected by 7 actors, 3 actresses. But he's the smart Jamaican.
They have to diminish us to the white women. It's not only to ourselves, you know. When they portray us the way they portray us, it's to diminish us to the white women, to not let us look as competent people. We're portrayed as eat and sleep and lazy. Ask your question.
Yeah, now I want Michael Phillips to go. And Michael Phillips, you can, you got freedom to talk about what you want to talk about. And then once you're done.
As far as for you say, oh, someone comes here and they instantly think we're this and we're that. How can someone who never engaged with a Black American come to this conclusion other than for the exports they received in their country via the movies?
Okay, now listen to this. So this is another family member of diaspora. He's saying the movies are the blame. It's the movies, all right?
When they watch the movies, look at what we consider cult, like the classics. You're talking Boys in the Hood. Not that there's.
So Florida Trucker says, so can we say all dreads are like Shatta? Yeah, and like Steve Seagal movie, remember with the 2 Jamaican twins who was wild as hell. Look at Belly. They were just a bunch of drug dealing, drug smuggling, just wild, primitive people, basically. Because that's what Belly depicted. And I mean, okay. And y'all all smoke weed, y'all all sell weed, and y'all all try to kill each other with swords or machetes.
Not any good classics, but the real hood classics.
Okay, so he said, not really the good classes we watch in Jamaica and I'm sure black immigrants. We watch the hood classes that y'all do.
That's what we consume before we come here. And not like
so they consume the hood classes. So now it's no longer the Denzel anymore. Denzel's out the picture. Now it's, I guess, Ice Cube and Lorenzo Tate. I don't know.
And all of us don't think, oh, they're all like this. But I think that's something that should be considered.
All right. So now I got some questions. If y'all can answer briefly, but because I want to get to the bigger question. So, because I got like I don't, I'm from over here, so I don't really understand. So when you say okay, so now the movie list, like on Net, if you go on Netflix,
there's a limited choices of movies, right? You can't
Well, let me see if y'all can get this question. I know I'm freestyle, I'm winging it. I got to put it together. You dig? But let me see if y'all understand the question I'm about to ask this guy. Both of them.
watch everything you want to watch on Netflix. It seems like that, but you can't. I try to watch stuff on there, it was not on there. Like class.
Peace, Cuban crisis. But if movies are to blame, then again, Chinese people, they got broken English. They're not the mathematicians. They're they just fight with their feet. Their mouth moves a certain way, but the words come out another strange way. So their lips, the words that come out, their lips don't form the proper way for words to come out. And sometimes their lips don't move at all and words come out. Those are the movies, all right? They could jump on buildings. They got all this shit going on, right? And they all know karate, all right? Arabs are just terrorists, all right? Let's move on. These are movies. Black African immigrants, all of them live on dirt roads. They all wear dashikis, and you know, they hunt. They're all gathering hunters. They gather hunters, all of them. Okay, and bushmeat markets is everywhere. Jamaicans, all they do is no jobs in Jamaica. All they do is sit there and smoke weed and kill each other and fight over the most nonsensical things you can think of. Okay. Cuban, you mean Cuban? Okay. So Cubans from the movies, Scarface. Right? That's pretty much what we got. Cuba is a bunch of dissatisfied Latinos who desperately, every chance they get, try to leave Cuba, come over here to become a Scarface. Okay? These are the movies. Native American, indigenous people, they just are primitive as hell, right? They scalp each other. Him, white man. Him, white man. This is how you talk. Him, white man. He got forky tongue. Like, come on. I mean, like it's getting childish when movies become our reference to judge 43 million blacks. All right, so listen to the question I'm gonna give these guys. Because remember, movie is the thing. All right, that's the theme, movies. Okay, movies. So these folks don't know movies are fake. Okay.
Classics, whatever.
And then if that's true, then why don't the other stereotypes of people follow? Why don't I see Chinese people as only kung fu artists? Why don't I see Arabs are just terrorists? Why don't I see I could go on and on. Russians are just warmongers. Like it just go on because this is how the movie portray everybody. It ain't just us.
Throwbacks. Okay, so now Stu and Michael. So now the movies you're saying that's being cast in Jamaica, or well, let's say Jamaica. Wait, where are you from, Michael Phillips? What country?
I'm from Trinidad.
Okay, so okay. Oh wow, all right. Peace, man. So Trinidad and Jamaica. So the movies, because that's good, because y'all from separate countries. That's even better. So now the movies because y'all gonna have different. Or if it's the same answer, we know it's pretty much true. So the movie list. So, because from my vantage point, I'm thinking you guys are you have a movie list, you have sophisticated movies, you have rah-rah movies, you have action-packed with Wesley Snipes, and I'm thinking that you guys are just choosing the boys in the hood. Like you are educating yourself, you are prescripting yourself to watch the rah-rah-rahs, to believe the stereotypes rather than A Living Color or some other movie that's out there that's not rah rah rah.
So I said what you guys said. I said, yo, so from my vantage point, I'm believing that there's multifaceted movies about FBAs, Black Americans that you can watch, right? And you guys are just choosing the most disrespectful, most degraded, the ones the gangster movies that pin us in the worst light possible. You're watching the pimp movies on purpose, and you're purposely skipping past the other movies like Blank Man, the funny stuff, and Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about movies that I watched that show black folks. Shaft, he's a hero. What about Malcolm X? Y'all ain't watch Malcolm X? You dig? And Selma, y'all ain't watch Selma? You dig? So, I mean, come on. Y'all ain't watch Panther and Deacons for Defense. Like, you guys are purposely. How about what's that movie with the women, the black women, the black girls that was debating the debate? I think who was there? Was it Denzel, whatever? But it was black women with debates. Y'all ain't watched that? So y'all just so now I'm trying to ask a question like, do you guys got a variety of movies you could watch of us and you're just choosing the worst? Or are you guys only sent? Do Jamaica only are they only importing the negative movies of black FBA? Is Trinidad, do they have a list of black movies and you're just choosing the worst? Or are you is your country only importing the rah-rah movies? There's no list because I need to know. Because if your country only imports the rah-rah movies, then I understand to a small degree of what you're saying. I still think it's stupid, but I can kind of follow your logic. But if your country has all of the movies, they got Friday, all these movies, Shaft, and the Wesley Snipes movies. You know, they got a Mo Better Blues, Fight the Power. What's the one with the radio? The Radio Raheem. All these movies are available. You got Breaking. All these movies are available. And you are choosing Will Smith. Will Smith is a superhero. Okay. Bad Boys. Okay. All these movies available. Are you just choosing the rah movies? Here's their response. And what's your response to that? Let me read the chat first. Let me read the chat. Okay. So now peep gang, tethers don't point out the degenerate from white folks. Exactly, because it's in the movies. I don't. So how do you guys say the movies is what draw your opinion on FBA's majority? But you don't let the movies draw your opinion on whites. If that's the case, then they're the most violent people in the world. Clint Eastwood killed everybody in all of his movies. Okay. Cuban says, no. Me Business says that Jamaican's intelligence is shining through, ain't it? Okay, so Cuban Christ says they blame, not to blame. Media is propaganda used to disinform and misinform. There are people who think those stereotypes. Yeah, I don't mind that. But what I'm saying is that, okay, so it can't go both ways. You can't tell me that that immigrants that come to this country are smart, okay, but they are believing movies to be real as like a documentary. If they believe a movie can really give them a basis on what the people are like in the country. And don't forget, we can't say movies because they're not really, you're watching a variety of movies. You're watching black folks who are funny, you're watching hero black folks, you're watching movies where black folks are just in school, they're doing great, having fun. You got Mo Better Blues, you got Malcolm X, you got Panther. So how are you? You got Jimmy Fox movies. You got the one with Jimmy Fox when he played, was it Ray Charles or whatever? You watching that, and you watching a rah-rah. So if you're smart and you're coming over here, you would know, hey, most likely everything I watched about them, that's all in them. They're funny, they got some rah-rah in them, and they got some heroism in them, and they got this in them, they're intelligent. The Great Debate, that's what it's called, something like that. They're debaters, Like you would gather all that data and use all of it. Say, hey, okay, they're like us. They're funny, they're smart, and they got rah-rah. Cuban. How are they funneling out the funny, the rah-rah, the superheroes, heroes isms, and only honing on to the rah-rah? That's the part nobody can explain. And these guys tried. They failed. Okay, so the business says, shoot, they ain't watched Eddie Murphy. Yeah, Eddie Murphy, all of his movies. Okay, so they ain't watched Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop, Will Smith and Carlton. What's happening? Rerun. The Cosby Show. What about the Cosby Show? What about Good Times? These were popular shows in Black America. Fred Sanford and Son. They didn't see Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family, Norman Hitch. Yeah, exactly. I forget all these horror movies. Mama, he said, brother, ain't that stereotypes or believes in stereotypes, regardless of where. Now, I don't even, we ain't talking about stereotypes because movies are not, these are not stereotype movies. They're action movies, they're comedy, they are suspense. Like, so this ain't about, these movies are not intent. The intent is not to draw a stereotype. The movies understand is a disclaimer in all of them. It's not real. And it's not trying to be real. It's not based on true events. Not like that. The movie is designed to let you know in advance it's fake and it doesn't necessarily represent anything true at all. This doesn't mirror reality at all. Okay? At all. So for quote unquote smart people to watch these movies and hand select the ones they want to believe for a stereotype, because again, you keep saying stereotypes. So if the movies create stereotypes, then why aren't the hero stereotypes in their mind? Why isn't the greatness stereotypes in their mind? Why isn't the comedy role, they're so funny? How come that stereotype doesn't stick? Why the only stereotype that stick? You call, I don't know how you call them stereotypes, they're just movies. But because, so why does the movie, when you say stereotype is something deliberate. Like people would tell you a stereotype as it's true. What part of the movie is it saying is true? So when you watch Blade, the stereotype is what? FBAs are half vampire, half werewolf. Half human. Like, nah, I can't go with that. Okay, so SLP Ground Sound Music says Columbus did not describe the indigenous peoples he encountered, such as the Taino, as having black skin. Instead, he referred to their skin color as a copper or tan tone. He says his descriptions emphasize their physical beauty and the differences between their appearance and that of Europeans. The comment I said prior, Cuban, SLP said the term black was generally used to describe individuals of African descent during the Columbus time, while he did recognize the existence of Africans and referred to them as Negroes. Okay, so SLP says his observations of the indigenous peoples focus more on their distinct skin tone as a shade of brown or copper rather than black. Columbus' writings reflect his perceptions of race and ethnicity. Indoctrination from colonization is why. That's what Cuban said. SLP said, which were shaped by the cultural context of his era, which means that original foundational are not FBA. And the stereotype from Blade is the FBA is half human, half baby. Yeah, so SOP, I'm not gonna argue with you, but I think some probably will. Yeah. So I'm under your understanding. I'm under that Native Americans or indigenous people to this land, they're separate from FBA. Okay. So now what I understand, let me know if you share this understanding on how they get coupled with FBA. So from my understanding, Native Americans are different from FBA. All right. But at some point, white people start to classify some of them as Negroes. And the term you just used. So some of them start to classify, white folks start to classify some Native Americans as Negro, and they threw them in the pot with us. And as a result, mixing, you know how that goes. We mixing with them, having babies and ABC. That's my understanding. Is that what you learned, or you learned something different? Okay, these are ramifications due to colonization, divide and conquer. Yeah, but the problem is, so divide and conquer is always, white supremacist goal. But in 2025, we gotta have our minds right. Okay, in 2025, if anybody FBA got like a racial biased view of a Latino, Arabian, Arab, or Black immigrant, there's something wrong with them, because it's 2025. Like, we know too much about each other from reading, experiencing, to have these negative stereotypes. Okay, and then there's something called observation, right? Because you're going to experience what you experience. Like, nothing's going to trump what you experience. Okay, so it seems like you guys are saying move. It seems like FBA, according to, now look, Cuban, you got to agree with this, because it fits the narrative of the movies to paint the stereotype against FBA, because the movies aren't painting stereotypes against Latinos. That's like where people prejudge you before you come here, or Chinese in a negative way, or Black immigrants, right? Or Caribbean, or okay. So hope I lose my point. I damn sneeze, man. Ugh. So let me try to think of my point. I'm gonna ask Cuban. So movies. Okay, so no, I'm gonna say it. So Cuban, you gotta admit this then. According to white supremacy, FBA, people who call themselves FBA, Adolf Freedman, Black Americans, we must be enemy number one. So when you say conquer and divide, it seems like white supremacy want other non-whites to divide and conquer FBAs, because you just said the movies you guys watch are creating stereotypes against FBAs alone, or majority, okay? Nobody else. So they're doing that, so when y'all come over here, y'all look at us a certain way and rather divide from us, or when you can, conquer us. Because that's the only divide and conquer I can see from those movies. Because those movies that y'all watching, is nothing in there that makes us believe we're better than Latinos, better than Black immigrants, Asians, or the Middle Eastern people. Nothing in there. Or even Eastern Europe. Nothing in there leads y'all to believe that we think we're better than other people. I think we're smarter. But what you guys are getting from the movies, you're getting that we are less than everybody else. We are worthy to conquer and divide. Let me know as I play more of this.
So the movie list, like, so.
All right, hold on. Let me read. Let me read his observation. Okay, I read that. So read that. These. Okay, I read that. So S. I got to catch up. Dang. Okay. So SLP said, because some indigenous mixed with some African slave doesn't mean that they are the foundation of people America. Yeah. Cuban crisis says, how long do you think it would take for people to eradicate a colonized mentality? It's not going to happen. Yeah, okay. But what I'm saying is, when people come with that mentality to America and they express that mentality on us, and they follow up on that mentality, they become our enemy, no different than the colonizers. Just like if you ship 1 million FBAs to South America, the UK, Japan, Russia, Puerto Rico, let's say Nigeria, and we come there with this hatred bias. It was like, ew, get away from me, get away from me. And we believe the American whites, stereotypes on all those people. And we come there expressing it and executing it. They could only look at us like as ops, like what the. Okay, so you can't get mad at us and say, nah, we're good. Until y'all can eradicate that Cuban crisis, this ain't gonna leave y'all mind no time soon. So y'all gonna be white supremacist robots until this shit get eradicated. So, but I'd rather not deal with a white supremacist robot who he keeps taking information that white people say, negative information that white folks give them about FBAs every year. It's going to affect me on a job. It's going to affect me in school. It's going to affect me in law. It did because they're going to follow up. So I'm gonna get the lack of promotions. I'm gonna be demoted. I'm going to be racial profile at the jobs because if the hirer is one of these different nationalities, because they have this robotic mindset passed down from white supremacy to view us a certain way. And this is why in a lot of not a lot, I can't say a lot, I don't know the stat, but in some of Latino communities, they do not allow FBAs in their home. I know from personal experience. I'm light, so the Puerto Rican girl that I was cool with, she told me, I'm helping them move. I've told the story several times. I'm helping them move. Her name was Jessica. I'm helping them move, but she said, no, you cannot go into my grandmother's house as FBA. Of course, she didn't say FBA, African American. She said, you got to tell them you're at least mixed with some type of Latino country. And that's how I got in their home to help them move. Okay, and that's kind of normal. That's not far-fetched in different homes. I don't know one black person, FBA. I don't know one FBA. I never heard of one FBA that's even I don't care how goofy the Panthers are and the damn Miss Islam. I ain't never heard a story where they said a white man cannot come into our home, even to help us, even to paint, even to be outside, spraying with the water, the outside of the house, power wash the house, coming in. I ain't never heard that before. That'd be brand new to me. So this robotic mind that's being programmed by white supremacy is becoming an enemy to us. It's affecting us, like I said, on our jobs. It's affecting us. I mean, like, because in Jersey, you have a lot of like stores, like supermarkets. Like none of them owned by. You might have a Jamaican store that sells groceries. You might have an African store. You got every store but FBA, right? And when you go into these stores, you don't see a lot of embracing. Hey, how you doing? You find what you need? Like nobody helps you. You get what you want. You go to the cashier. No hello. It just take your money and buy. I'm saying that is average. I wish I could wear a body cam so you just could see it, like some glasses. Like you can just see. They don't say shit to you. You go in there, you buy, you leave. Dig. There's a lot of Latino supermarkets in Jersey. Please tell me how. Please, they're not speaking to us. We going there. They're not. No hola, no hi, no, none of that shit. African store, same thing. Maybe Jamaican store they say something, but African store, forget about it. Ain't nobody, hello, none of that. That's not happening. They want you in and out, head up and by. Is the mentality. All right. Okay. So yeah, individuals. Yeah, it's definitely individual. But like that's like a shock because FBA is like we believe only white folks believe like that. Okay. So if she said, "Hey, yo, you can help my grandmother move. She's white. You can't come in." That wouldn't even bother me. I'd be like, okay, man, it's typical racist. But if I hear that from an Indian, and that's nothing. I left out East Indian. Oh my God. Oh my God. You could throw them in there too with the black immigrants as far as like how they view FBAs. Them too. They look down. They look down. They got the Vivek mindset. Okay, so look, let me play the video and you'll see this fake confusion from the question. And again, I didn't package it the best way because I'm freestyling. And I'm trying to hear their dumbass movie argument.
Are y'all limited to just rah movies, or is there a variety of movies and y'all just choosing the rah movies?
Okay, that's a flat out question. I'm not saying Netflix. Okay, you see, I said Netflix earlier just for an analogy. I wasn't in no way, shape, form. Me business said it perfect. The dude don't know context. I used Netflix as an analogy or reference point. I didn't, no way, shape, or form did I think they have access to Netflix. They're paying Netflix monthly, a monthly bill. That's not what I was saying. It's real clear. Hey guys, however you guys are getting your movies, are you only getting the negative stereotypical movies you say about FBAs, or are you getting a variety of movies, but you guys are more entertained in the rah movies? Because you okay, that's it. That's it. That's a flat out question. Watch how both of them mention Netflix. Like I'm actually talking about Netflix. Look at this goofy shit.
Go and let me answer first, Michael. What you need to understand, let's go back 20 years. 20 years ago, there was no Netflix. There was no individual selection.
He said there was no Netflix, there was no individual selection. Now I'm listening. I still want to know, how are you getting these movies? Are they just played on? You know how you go to the hospital, they just play random stuff on it to like just to, you can sit there and watch something like safe news channels, whatever, and it plays all day long. It's like when you go to Jamaica, are they just the movies just on all day long on certain TV shows? You're just forced to just watch it. Or do you have a choice to say, I don't want this, I want that? That's all I was asking. Listen to this.
When the person might have had cable,
You beat me to it.
even when you have cable, you were forced to watch what was sent to you. It's not like today where people choose to watch what they want to watch. You have YouTube, you have cable, they have.
He said you were watched, you watched what was sent to you. Okay. So are they just sending it's a simple question. Are they only sending the negative stereotypical movies about black FBAs? That's it. Or are they also sending other things about FBA? It's a simple question. Look at the complex answer.
Netflix, they have Hulu, they can select what they want to watch. Back in the day, although you may have cable 20 years ago, the selection was pre-edited. But also, you need to take into consideration, like if you watch Falcon Crest, there was three major soap operas. And we're talking about before Bill Cosby, because Bill Cosby kind of changed the game. You had Falcon Crest, you had Dynasty, and you had Dallas.
Okay, so I'm aware of those shows. Those are white folks. Okay.
And those three shows never really portray any black people. And when they did portray black people, they were portrayed as a threat, meaning that the person who carjacked or the person who robbed you or the fear of sexual abuse oftentimes came from a black person.
Yo, do y'all know how old the movies he just named? Do you guys know how old those movies are? Like those things gotta be the late 80s. And he's talking about 20 years ago. Dynasty Down, yo, those things gotta be like, I remember watching those. My mom's watching. And so this doesn't make any sense because y'all first said it was the rah-rah negative movies about black folks. Now you're telling me it wasn't the negative movies about black folks. It was just a black person in the movie here and there. And I just don't. Yeah, my mom watched these shows religiously. These were the most boring shows on the planet, worse than MASH. And my mom watched these shows religiously. Dude, are you really trying to tell me that Dallas and Dynasty, these are the shows that shaped Jamaica's bias against FBA?
Most of the villains or most of the were always black. Most of the threats implied or applied were oftentimes black. So it's not as if you had a choice. Because you must remember, it's subtle manipulation.
Nah, now it's subtle manipulation. Bro, we watch the same shows. Yeah, yeah, Dukes of Hazzard. We watch, yo, what are you talking about? Like that was the only thing. Like there was like now, if you stay home for school, you were screwed. Cause there was nothing for kids during the school hours to watch. They were all soap operas or some boring MASH and Dynasty Dallas shows. There was nothing for a kid. So if you stay home because you were sick, you stay home because you were really just sick. Because you like, yo, home is worse than school. Okay, so let me go to. I'm sick, but I'm going to school. I'm not gonna stay here watching Dallas with my mom. I'm good, or whoever was there.
It's manipulation of the mind that took place, And it wasn't overt. It was very subjective. It was very slow moving. It was very, like applying salt. People don't understand that they get used to salt after a while in your food, although you know that salt not good for you. Because a sprinkling of this and a sprinkling of that. So they actually set the mind of the individual that if you say a black person, that person is a threat. Because that was in most of the show.
Yo, I can't believe you're saying this. The show Dallas, you barely see black people in the show, and you're telling me once you do, his explanation is wild. So you're telling me, you know what? Let's just do it. This is Dallas. I told you. What I say? I said late 80s, 1978 to 1991. And you're telling me that this showed black folks in a negative light, so impactful that Jamaicans said, yeah, you know, black folks ain't shit. Like I just refuse to believe that, man. He said dynasty, middle dynasty. There we go. Look, 81. Told you. Oh boy. So now I gotta call my mom on three-way. No, I got if it was earlier, I would call my mom and on the live, so y'all can like how I do it live. So y'all can hear a legit uh answer. Hey mom, yeah. If they did show a FBA kid stealing an apple throwing a rock in the window. That's enough. One kid, because you really there's no black folks in there. So one black kid stealing an apple or throwing a rock in the window, that's enough to say all of FBA throw rocks at windows and steal apples. Because remember, this is 81. So ain't no black, ain't no images of us shooting, ain't no guns, ain't no stabbing. You dig? This is 81. So how bad could we have been? But when we see Scarface, we're wrong if we judge all. Remember, these are two shows he just named. So if we watch Scarface, we're wrong to judge all Cubans based on Scarface. Because Scarface would suggest Cubans, they hate Castro, they're depressed, and they're trying to flee, and they're coming to America not to do better. They're coming into America to get into the drug game. They're fleeing Cuba so they could come to America to get into the drug game. If we were to believe shows about ethnicity, okay, the Italians, they ain't SHIT. They're a bunch of mobsters. They're no good. All they do is hurt each other. They exploit each other all day long. These guys are no good. And they bootleg liquor. Boy. And okay. Anyway. Because Michael didn't go yet. So let's go on.
No, black people in general like action. They like action, whether it be a Chinese show, a karate show. So when they start making their own movies, it wasn't about the story. There's very few black movies made by black producers that actually have real stories. They oftentimes center around action or coonery or some jokish thing, because that is what we like as a people. Would like to be entertained, right? And it's not like we're going to be entertained by our own kind of gladiator movie. We're semi-historic. It's oftentimes it gritty and it ghetto, right? And that's one of the major problems we face, is that our image and the image that we allow.
But okay. You see what he just did? You see what he just did? He's mixing apples and oranges. He went from 1981 films to more modern Boys in the Hood. Like, dude, what are we doing? Belly. Like, dude, that's a huge stretch. So your stereotype came from the most boring shows in America, in American history. And that was enough to, I mean, how often, again, they barely showed anybody black. And you're telling me that was enough. What could we have done? There was no guns, there was no drugs. This is before the crack era. So what are we actually doing in a movie? And this is like Texas, whatever. It's like mad fields and barns, and like, yo, what are we actually doing? Stealing an apple, throwing rocks through a window, and that's enough to say we ain't SHIT. That's crazy.
To be broadcast of ourselves was not the nicest image. Have you ever seen a small lot as a villain in a movie? Over the last 60 years, Hollywood have been making movies for the last 100 years, and you have never seen a small lot, and we're talking about actors, portrayed as a villain. Instead, they go and look at British actor. You have never seen, but Smollett has been portrayed as Superman, as Wolverine, as Smollett has been portrayed as superhero.
Stu Peas. Let me know.
Yeah, but guess what, Stu? When we see the small hat in the movie being portrayed as Spider-Man, whatever, we don't, because his hat not on his head, we don't see him as a small hat superhero. Okay, we don't equate that. That guy looks like a regular white American to us in those movies. So that wouldn't even matter. That's like a black immigrant playing like a FBA role. If he looks FBA, nobody gonna look at him as a Nigerian or Ethiopian. They're gonna look at him as a FBA because that's the role he's playing and he looks just like it. So if a small hat is playing a superhero role still, and they don't have their obvious things on them to identify as a small hat, part of the small hat community, we're gonna think that that person is an ordinary lily white American. So the stereotype would be to white Americans, not small hats.
Let me ask you this, two P's. Where you from?
Jamaica.
Okay, okay. So it's a little bit different between African Americans and Jamaicans. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I understand that. All right, so what's the difference? When was the
Wait.
listen,
Before you go there, before you go there, don't forget Michael Phillips was the.
let me finish my part. Growing up.
Wait.
Growing up.
Before you do that.
So Stu Pease is trying to finish his point. This guy is unhanded. I'm like, wait, yo, remember Michael was supposed to go? Stu Pease wants to address SMH. And let me finish my point. Like the dude just he's uncontrollable. Can't get too old to be like that, man. All right.
Because give a detailed answer. Okay, so the movie.
And you see how long Stu P's answer was, by the way? Look how long was he talking for? I just said, yo, when I proposed the question, I said, make it brief, because this is part of the larger question I'm going to ask. He talked so long, I'm like, dude, okay, I'm done with you. Let Michael be brief so I can just ask some rapid questions to get to the bigger question. He was so long with his answer.
That depict FBAs. Like, did you have a variety where you can choose? Because you don't forget, Spike Lee had none of his movies was ratchet and stereotypical. A lot of them Mo Better Blues. He had a lot of movies that depicted black and FBA men and women in a good light. So did y'all have a variety, or y'all only just limited to just the negative?
As my man from Yard just stated, right? 20 years ago, there was no Netflix.
Why do you keep saying Netflix? It's not about Net. Bro. When I'm thinking about movies, I'm thinking of DVD. In my mind, as I'm proposing this question, I'm thinking of a physical hard copy of a movie you could put in your or VHS. More so VHS. I'm thinking of VHS DVD. Something you could put in your electronic, press play, and it goes. I'm not thinking about anything streaming.
Fortunate enough to have cable, feel me, because I lived in the city, so I had cable. But there was no Netflix, right?
Why do you keep saying Netflix?
And prior to that, you had to get all these either tape. We didn't have a DVD player, so we had to get VCRs. DVD players came later and so forth. But you got whatever was the hottest thing moving, and everything.
Oh, so you see how Stu Pease took us to the 1930s to make his argument. He brought us more to a modern day and time where you can choose what movies you want to watch. That's where he's going.
It's limited. I don't know if it's by design or if and everything was limited. I don't know if it's by design.
Everything was limited. Okay, but what was it limited to? What was the choice? What were the choices?
Or if we were just super unfortunate. I saw really good black movies in the 90s, but the highlight movies that we did.
He's seen very good movies in the 90s of FBAs, but he's saying the movies that they really watched were what?
Definitely see.
Yeah, they didn't watch White Man Can't Jump with Wesley Snipes.
And we gravitated to was the classics, The Boys in the Hood, all that.
You heard him? He said, yes, so he was more honest than Stu Pease. He said, yes, we had a variety. We were limited, but we seen a variety of movies depicting FBAs. We seen y'all as funny people, comedians. We've seen y'all as cops saving humanity or city. We've seen y'all as doctors. We've seen y'all as all type of good, productive Americans, right? Even superheroes. But we also seen y'all as, senseless criminals. So all the ways we seen y'all, we were more drawn to the senseless criminals. That's pretty much what he just said. Out of all the different ways we can see you through movies, we were more drawn to the senseless criminals. That to me sounds like a projection. Like, hey, man, I like the criminal stuff because that's something I can relate to. I'm speaking for them, the Black immigrants that watched the criminal stuff and were more drawn to that. Maybe you were more drawn to that because you can relate to it as possibly a criminal yourself. And you cannot relate to the doctor, the Bill Cosby. You can relate to the Beverly Hills Cop. You can relate to the funny man, Richard Pryor, Toy. You can relate to that because, or I think it's called Fight the Power. What's that called? It was a Spike Lee film, but he had Radio Raheem. So you didn't watch that. You didn't watch the Great Debaters, or no, you did, but you were more attracted to what you can relate to, and that was the thuggish type videos. So he's more honest, but still, just it doesn't make any sense.
Good stuff.
Now,
For me, for the fun stuff. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, do the right thing. Ain't that what I said? Do the right thing. I think I said that right. But I said fight the power. My bad. Yeah. So yeah, it was called Do the Right Thing. So you never watched Do the Right Thing?
Even the funny stuff, like I said, I don't know if that was by design.
Watch Robert Townsend movies. So you own
Or not. You feel me? But that's what we saw. And this is why I'm like.
but you've seen both though.
No, I definitely seen both. I'm just, here's the thing.
You hear what I'm saying? I said, but you've seen both though. Okay, so now he's about this, what Tariq would say, he's about to explain.
I didn't, like I said in the comment section, go ahead, brother. I don't want to cut you.
No, yeah, because I was cutting you off actually. I was gonna say because you guys didn't say this, so I'm not pinning this to you and Stu Peace. I'm saying the clips I'm playing, these people from Kenya, Nigeria, whoever, right, outside of America, they're saying that they got these stereotypes. They're justifying the stereotypes coming into America against SBAs because of movies. But what I'm saying is like, wait a minute, but you've seen both sides. So why is one more true than the other one?
What do you mean one more true than the other one?
Okay, so if you watch Richard Pryor movie or Eddie Murphy, let's say
I did say Eddie Murphy, the business. I did say that.
Eddie Professor, like that showed black folks as comical, peaceful, funny, and sociable, embracive. But why, according to the clip,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, he just laughed. Did he just laugh?
So, but why, according to
he just laughed. He just like when I called him on his BS, he just chuckled in the background. Yeah, you see, man, he just chuckled.
Sociable, embracive. But why, according to the clip,
he 100% laughed. This is why we have to delineate. He just laughed. I'm like, well, why would you choose the ratchet movies over the cool movies that depict this? He laughed. This is exactly why we should delineate immediately, physically and mentally.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
What you're saying. And that's a really good question. I'll try to give what I consider to be a perfect answer, right? I personally didn't look at it like that.
Of course, you had your bias and you were sticking with it.
And that's what usually when I'm arguing like comment sections like yours, this is what I'm trying to tell them. Like, look, I personally didn't look at it like that. But where we live have bourgeoisie also. Don't get it twisted. And they're the first to be able to come here because they can afford to do so.
Oh, oh, I gotta clip that. I gotta clip that. I gotta clip that.
Both of us have to get in line, wait, and they're the first. But where we live have bourgeoisie also. Don't get it twisted. And they're the first to be able to come here because they can afford to do so. Most of us have to get in line, wait, go to the embassy for a few years, make sure your family can afford. That's already over here. The bourgeoisie, it's like clockwork. So when they come here and they're looking down on you, I don't think you should. But where we live have bourgeoisie also. Don't get it twisted. And they're the first to be able to come.
It's part of the system.
But where we live have bourgeoisie also. Don't get it twisted. And they're the first to be able to come here because they can afford to do so. Most of us have to get in line, wait, go to the embassy for a few years, make sure your family can afford. That's already over here. The bourgeoisie, it's like clockwork. So when they come here and they're looking down on you, I don't think you should take it that personally because they look down on us too. That's what bourgeoisie do. And I just line with that one.
Yeah, he said, don't take, hold on. So you're bourgeoisie. So wait a minute. Are we forgetting what the parents tell their Jamaican kids? Black, they're saying FBAs ain't SHIT. Don't go around them. They're criminal. So y'all bourgeoisie tell each other don't hang around y'all, the lower class. Nah, yo, y'all issue is classism. It ain't race based. Y'all look alike. I mean, yeah, and see, like this is a game to them. They just want to win an argument. They ain't trying to be correct.
That one. But where we live have bourgeoisie also. Don't get it twisted. And
I always say, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to be correct. You're not trying to be correct. You're trying to win.
they're the first to be able to come here because they can afford to do so. Most of us have to get in line, wait, go to the embassy for a few years, make sure your family can afford. That's already over here. The bourgeoisie, it's like clockwork. So when they come here and they're looking down on you, I don't think you should take it that personally because they look down on us too. That's what bourgeoisie do. And I just line with that one. But where we live have bourgeoisie, both of us have to get in line, wait, go to the embassy for a few years.
I had to clip that one. I had to clip that one.
Make sure you're. So that's too. That's what.
Rich black people over the world, no matter what.
He's trying to throw Stu Peas an alley-oop. Now here comes Stu Peas. Rich, I mean, let's get back to the movies and why do you guys believe movies is one question. Why do you guys only want to watch the movies that depict FBAs as what your parents already believe about us? So if you're talking about this by design, the only designer so far is your parents. The only designer we heard so far from you guys were your parents. We didn't hear a white man designer yet. The designers so far were y'all parents.
What, no matter where in the world rich black people is, rich black American, rich black Kenyan, rich black Jamaican, rich black African, rich black Trinidad, and rich black, what they always look down on poor black people. It's part of the system. No, if you're upper class black people from different countries and they come and they're looking down on people, no, it's a class system. That's always has existed. Now you ask about Eddie Murphy, and you ask about
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee, right? Let me address the whole Eddie Murphy thing. And this is going to be very funny, and many persons might not believe it. And many persons might not believe it. You have black actors although they might be black in color,
Yeah, I gotta clip this. This was wild right here. This was
although they might be
this is wild.
black in color, although you have black actors, although they might be black in color, although they might be black, and I'm going to tell you, Eddie Murphy, The Rock, the guy, the one who started Fast and Furious, what's his name?
Well, the one, oh yeah, I forgot his name. The light skinned dude, yeah.
You have black actors, although they might be black in color, although they might be black, and I'm going to tell you, Eddie Murphy, The Rock, the guy, the one who started Fast and Furious, what's his name?
Well, the one, oh yeah, I forgot his name. The light skinned dude, yeah.
You have black actors, although they might be black in color, although they might be black, and I'm going to tell you, Eddie Murphy.
Because with this right here, Stu Peace ran with his, like, he loves to bring up persons. So he's going to say, although they might be black in color, black immigrants as a whole don't see them as black people. They see them as colorless persons. You know, like how Stu Peace wanted to read the Emancipation Proclamation. They are more seen as colorless persons.
The Rock, the guy, the one who started Fast and Furious, what's his name?
Well, the one, oh yeah, I forgot his name. The light skinned dude, yeah.
You have black actors, although.
Okay, so let me put the phone number in for Peace Saru. Let me put the phone number for East B in the link. Yeah, I ain't trying to talk all day because it's late over. It's like 2:16. I think 3 o'clock might be my cutoff. But they said FBA is a lost cause. I just want to know more about that. So let me first throw in the link first, the computer link. Dang. Okay, this is it. Okay, so let me. Nah, you said the majority of FBA had to go to prison to find conscious. I don't believe that. Let me see that stat. And what they call consciousness, what we call, what you're calling conscious is what we call blackology. We don't respect blackology. They go to prison and they come up with this woke stuff that we disagree with. Well, when I say we, the blacks who are more STEM, advocates of STEM. All right, so let me put the phone number in. This is for East B. I want to hear more about this lost cause. Okay, here you go. All right, let's play Stu Peace. Yeah, now yeah, woke stuff. Woke stuff. I don't want to say more light because there are so many FBAs that know nothing about the conscious community and our talking points. And like, so I would say it gets enough light. But I wouldn't put too much on it because there's so many FBAs that know when we talk to them with this woke stuff, they'd be like, "What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?" Yeah, it's like a disconnect, and that's why we just dropped that garbage. Like, yeah, this woke stuff is crazy. All right. So what Stu Peace about to say about
First movie, you have black actors. Although they might be black in color, although they might be black, and I'm going to tell you, Eddie Murphy, The Rock, the guy, the one who started Fast and Furious, what's his name?
Well, the one, oh yeah, I forgot his name. The light skinned dude, yeah.
Yes, the Fast and Furious.
Bald head guy.
Sidney Poitier and Denzel Washington, as black as how you might think they are, they were never portrayed as black in TV shows. Their race never brought. You have never heard a Denzel Washington movie apart from Malcolm X and More Better Blues, the one that he did with Spike Lee, where his race is ever mentioned. You have never seen it.
So Tom Cruise racist mentioned when he was playing in Top Gun. I mean, what are you talking about? I didn't get that. Like so Al Pacino racist being mentioned when he, well, yeah, he was Italian, right? Yeah, it because they're not playing race-based movies. Yeah, he said Malcolm X was all about black folks, Mo Better Blues. I don't know if that was Spike Lee, most likely same director, but yeah, like unless you're playing a race-based movie, why would your race be like Charles Bronson race wasn't being addressed in his movies? Clint Eastwood wasn't reminding everybody he's a white American in his movies. Like, I really don't get where this guy's going. Like, again, he just making stuff up.
The many Denzel Washington movies, and probably Carbon, his first movie. You have black actors.
Yeah, I got to use this clip right here. That is crazy assessment. That's the ultimate of chasing. So now the movies that I will use to make my point to contradict this we watch movies about you guys, so that's why we stereotype you. So to contradict my point, you just gonna make up a whole, hey man, they're not seen as black. Although they black, they talk black, look black. When we watch them, we really see a colorless person. So when you watch Wesley Snipes in The Rising Sun, let me show you, and Sean Connery, watch this. Okay. So when you watch this movie right here, come on, show Wesley Snipes. Okay, let me put movie. Okay, so when you watch this movie right here, is Tupi seriously telling me that you don't see a white man in the movie and a black man? You just see colorless persons. When you watch, which I never really watched that like that, but when you watch what's the movie called with Neo? The Matrix. I watched a little bit. I never really liked that movie. But when you watch, because I never really watched it to like it. I never like gave it a chance. But when you watch The Matrix, you don't see Larry Fishburne as a black like sensei type guru guy. Like you look at him as just a colorless person who's just guiding Neo correctly. Like, these chase explanations be wild. All to avoid accountability. Watch this.
Although they might be black, and I'm going to tell you, Eddie Murphy, The Rock, the guy, the one who started Fast and black as all you races ever mentioned. You have never seen it. The many Denzel Washington movies, and probably Carbon, his first movie. And the same goes for.
Though. They get a little pushback.
But when you finish this, man.
Okay.
They have never been portrayed as actually black. They have been portrayed as American. The race.
Black American, right? But they look black though, right?
No. Denzel Washington is not portrayed as black American. He's portrayed as an American. Denzel Washington in movies. When most people across the world look at Denzel Washington in movies, They're not seeing a black American. They're
No,
seeing an American.
bro, I get what you're saying, and that's what Diddy did for his artists. But they were too stupid to realize that. I get what you're saying. Like the goal is to taste the product amongst the majority, not the minority. Ain't no money in minority. It's to taint the product, push the product to the majority.
At least I thought he was going there.
Where he's,
I thought he was going like, okay, they're trying to make these Black Americans more appealing to everyone, like the nation. So they're not gonna make them like black and ghetto. I'm thinking that's where we're going with this.
well received by everybody. So I get what you're saying, right? And because that's what Diddy tried to do in rap with his artists. He went the hood rah 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 rapper. He wanted the likable to every ethnicity, race, and creed. But go ahead.
Right. And then afterwards, you're not seen because most people, if you ask white people, if
Hey, E-Bizzle, you there?
What's the word, y'all? What's the word?
Hey, bro, when you watch Eddie Murphy and the Clumps, do you see a black actor or do you see a colorless person?
No, I see a black eye.
So what the hell is Stu Peace talking about?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
if The Rock is black, they will tell you no.
I might not say. I might say no, because he's not. And even the lights can do Fast and Furious, like they're not clearly black. So even I might say, I don't know about that.
And if they ask him how they see Denzel, if they see Denzel as a black man, they say no, they see Denzel as Denzel.
Hey, you heard that?
yeah, I heard it, y'all.
So he's saying, all right, so he's saying this. He's saying in Jamaica, remember, they're smart, okay? So he said in Jamaica, when they watch Snoop Dogg and Baby Boy, they see a black Negro, right? But when they watch Wesley Snipes and The Rising Sun, they see a colorless person just acting. They don't see the black Negro.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about it.
All right, how about this? So when they see Samuel L. Jackson, Snakes on a Plane, they see a black Negro. But the same actor, what's that movie called with the basketball thing? Coach Carter. Okay, so that same actor, when he plays Coach Carter, they no longer see a black Negro. Now they see a colorless person. One more. When they watch Denzel in Training Day, you have to see a black Negro, right? But when they watch him and just give me a movie, bro. Just any, mini, miny, mo movie. If they see him in The Great Debaters, I think that's one. When they see him there, they don't see the black Negro anymore. Like that is crazy. Okay, if that's the case, there's no way they're smart. No way. You can cut it off and cut it on. That is wild. All right, so yeah. So wait a minute. Mo Better Blues didn't mention anything about race. They Spike Lee, yeah, that's crazy. All Spike Lee joints do. Nothing about race. I haven't seen it, but I bet race was mentioned. Yeah, all Spike Lee movies are race-based. Race-based. So Me Business said he didn't see race when he watched Prince Akeem coming back to America, but he did see race when he watched Doughboy being a boy in the hood. Wow. I saw a black actor. Murphy was trading places, and when that's a good point. Okay, let me say this. He said, I saw a black actor when he was Eddie Murphy trading places, and when he was coming to America, race was and at least alluded to it. Okay. Go ahead, Saint.
Hey, Shalom. Peace to both of you, brothers.
Hey, man. Hey, shalom, brother.
And let me say this for the record, man. Paul, who's an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, was a Roman citizen. So just because you're an Israelite, it don't mean you're not an American citizen for you puffed up, holier than thou ass niggas. Number one. Let me say that. I'm trying to delineate from saying the word, the N word too.
Right,
I'm biased sports, but I had to say that because a lot of Israelites are under the impression that just because they Israelites that they're not American citizens.
right.
Paul let it be known in the Bible that he was a Roman citizen. So you are the citizen of the country you live in. Number one, for these
brother. I was just telling my daughter that earlier, brother. I promise you, I was just telling my daughter.
Matthew was a Roman
You live in
citizen.
the greatest country in the world.
So
Right.
you don't have to be ashamed of being an American. Number one. Number two, let me say this, man. This FBA delineation got these tethers of a feather that flock together, crashing all the way out mentally. Like they just mentally breaking down completely, and it's revealing that they were never genuine concerning what's most conducive for us as Black Americans from the jump. Like it's revealing them. Go ahead, brothers.
No, hey, brother. I was just telling Ariana the same thing you were saying. I said, we live in the greatest country. I don't care what nobody say. Yeah, we got kicked out here into the West. But guess what? We took over out here in the West. So it's not no shame to say that you are American. It's not no shame to say that.
Oh,
Paul used his Roman citizenship to keep from being scourged, literally. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures are for our learning. We're supposed to learn and take from the good and the things that the Hebrews did that wasn't right. We're not supposed to do those things. So it's a reason why the Most High put that in there for the Israelites that don't think they American citizens. You know, I had to say that, brother.
yeah. Good point. Who's this? What is that? The Jamaicans trying to get reparations from, what is that agency or body? I forgot that they're trying to get it from.
The only place where they giving reparations at is in Evanston, Illinois, right now, right outside Chicago.
All right, and they 42 faked in California.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, they ran play action.
Well, you know how they planned it out here in Evanston. They doing it through housing. They ain't giving no money, but they
No,
doing it
that's
through
not the definition of reparations according to international law. And
yeah.
see, and this is crazy
Yeah,
to me, man.
but you see what I'm saying? How they plan it? They doing
Right.
it through housing. You know what I'm saying?
They still what I want to call it, they still tap dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
And see, this is my thing too. Like, you know, I talked to a so-called white man about this the other day, and he was saying, well, can't we all just forget the past? I'm like, but you guys gave reparations to everybody else. You're paying Israel $6 billion. I don't have anything to do with putting Jewish people in internment camps, but my tax dollars still pay Israel. And then he had to look stupid and say, oh, you got a point there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because you think I'm waiting for some Jordans and the Madden to come out and on some BET and bullshit type of shit. See, they really don't know that we used to be the most learned men in the world. And a lot of them gonna find out the hard way.
Yeah, and you know the sad part about it? I was trying to tell a couple of young brothers, they won't forget about 9/11. I say, why do you think why do you think they have museums?
They ain't forgetting about Pearl Harbor.
They ain't forgetting about Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, we gotta hear about Pearl Harbor. We gotta hear about World War I and II and the Revolution. Every 4th of July, what we hear about? 1776.
Yeah,
and then you got all these
they're gonna tell
the Star Spangled Banner.
But they're gonna tell us, hey man, just leave it alone, man, just forget about it.
You got this one white man that's a Christian on YouTube telling the other white Christians, look, y'all, we can't be saying we believe in God and we're not going to pay reparations to black people. And all the billions of Christians on earth that swear up and down, John 3:16 is talking about everybody and I love Jesus and Jesus is Lord. You would think they'd be at the forefront of cutting our checks, right? That's why I don't believe none of them believe in the Most High. I don't believe the Muslims do either, because they would be at the forefront of cutting the check for our people because their religions flourished off of our destruction. You would
Well,
think they'd be at the forefront.
you know what's crazy about that? I said, why don't you, these black Muslims that's over here, why don't you talk about Boko Haram that's killing our women over there in Nigeria? Why don't you talk about it? Because they scared.
Taking the 14 and 13 and 15-year-old young Nigerian women and making them sex slaves.
Yeah. I know.
And then you got these Nigerian chiefs making those same women sex slaves. But but Jabari, Africa can do no wrong, right? Osasi? Right? Groundskeeper Willie? Right? I call him Groundskeeper Willie because his genealogy go back to some black Israelites in Scotland. Boy,
Really?
take that Egyptian unk off and get you a bagpipes and get you some bagpipes and a kilt, boy. Boy.
Yeah. That's what I've been telling them. I say, well, why don't y'all say something about them? Boko Haram.
I'm looking for all of them. I'm looking for, and shout out to Sarnetta. Don't take it personal, Sarnetta. I'm just like Rick James said. I'm just partying. Don't take it personal. I'm looking for Sarnetta, aka Poppy Mino Black. I'm looking for Jabari Osasi, Groundskeeper Willie. I'm looking for Unk, Blank Man, with no scientific works, always talking about science. Ain't even got a chemistry kit from Bobby's
Jamaica
Time Shop.
plans to ask Britain. Slave.
My bad.
No, you good. Go play the video, brother, because I was on my corrupt calling out names. Go ahead and play that video.
For many of their owners.
Yeah, I didn't know it was gonna work or not. I just tried it out. Let's let me do it again. So you mean I ain't gotta always read? Oh my God.
Jamaica plans to ask Britain for compensation for the Atlantic slave trade in the former British colony, a senior government official said, under a petition that could seek billions of pounds in reparations.
Okay, why would I, as a Black American, want to undermine that? No, they don't owe you no.
Unbiased sports. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Jamaica, y'all don't deserve reparations. You don't need it. Pull your pants up by your goddamn bootstrap.
Yeah.
I'm going there.
Yeah, that is wow. Like, why would? Okay, look, I'm gonna read this quote. Why would we?
How would they feel if foundational Black Americans came out worldwide and said, you know what, Jamaica
Our
just need to get over it.
African ancestors were forcibly removed from their home and suffered unparalleled atrocities in Africa to carry out forced labor to the benefit of the British Empire, she added. Redress is well overdue.
Jamaicans, y'all just being lazy. Y'all playing the victim. Get over it.
Yeah.
No, and I know this hurts their feelings for me to say it like this. 2P, if you listening, I know you crying on the inside when I say it like that. So how you think we feel when y'all do us like that?
Yo, that is wow, yo. Even when the South Africans were trying to get their land back, repatriation, what is it called? Like, we were like supporting that, like, yeah. We weren't saying, nah, it's too late, it's too long. White folks had that for so long, man. What you gonna do with it? All you gonna do is make it a mud hut. Like, we ain't say none of that. We were cheering it on. Like, yeah, y'all deserve kick those white supremacists out. Like, we were.
No, they don't need reparations because we don't know what they're gonna spend the money on. I'm finna say all the same stuff they say to us. They're gonna spend it on weed and coconuts. They don't need it.
Yeah. This is wild. man.
Now, clearly, I don't feel that way, family, because I sincerely believe they do deserve reparations. I see, I'm not unsincere like them. Clearly, I don't feel like that. But I just want you to see how they sound talking to us.
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, they don't rock with us. I keep telling people that they don't rock with us.
Yeah, that's wild. And you guys heard that Vivek his comment about American culture and how he just uppity and his culture just so better than America. Are you guys aware of that statement he put on Twitter or whatever?
I'm more than aware of it, and let me quote my daddy. It's not about who's right, it's about what's fucking right. He told the truth, and America can't take rebuke or correction. That's the arrogance and pride of some American citizens. He did tell the truth. We waiting for the Super Bowl right now. We ain't waiting on no goddamn spelling bee. Come on, y'all.
Yeah. So no, he did say some things that I see in black society. Like, yo, we need to like I don't go to none of my shit not my family, the young ones, football games back. I don't go to none of that shit. So I'm like, yo, never invite me to a football game or any sport or a rap fest or singing. Zero. Like, only invite me to like academic things. I let that out. I let that known when it was young.
Have you received a flyer?
No.
Sally. So it was some truth to what he said.
No, it's definitely truth. He's holding them accountable. But sometimes people look at the messenger. Sometimes, and people might say, yeah, the message is on point, but the messenger and his agenda is something about that. Now the messenger who's talking about culture, who's talking about pride. This guy is a scamming billionaire. Do you know about that, Saint?
Yeah, I know how he got them billions. He put a product out there that what I saw you playing that video over and over and over too yesterday.
Yeah.
He put a product out there, and when people realized it wasn't authentic, he pulled out at the last minute and got the money and kept it pushing.
And the product was a placebo pill that was supposed to cure Alzheimer's. So a lot of people bought it, took the pill, and their parents just because they didn't take the other medication, they took his instead. So their parents and loved ones just suffered, and I'm sure the condition got worse.
And that's very disingenuous and wrong to do to anybody in any group of people, no matter where you at on earth. Not just here in America, but that's some coward ass shit, Aladdin.
So you're right about that. Like he held with nothing. I don't believe nothing he said was wrong. But the pushback is what Tone Talks highlighted. Tone Talks highlighted like, dude, you're acting like you're the standard when you're the exception from your homeland. They pulled up a stat. Some white guys went crazy. They going on their podcast, they're going crazy. I watched some of their podcasts. They pull up a stat on his homeland, how often they use the bathroom in the streets. And they got nerve to be talking about, now again, like nothing he said was really wrong, but he's acting like he represents the standard of an Indian. And they pulled up how often they use the bathroom in the streets in his country.
Right, he a grain of sand on the beach. They better stop it.
Yeah, what about okay, cool, you're right. We need to be more serious. And which I always been saying, like America's like one of the weirdest countries because you would think that they would want the smartest people in their country, so America just be greater and greater and greater. That's what you would think.
Right.
But these guys really just in for cheap labor. That's all they want. They don't care about being smart. They want to be the smartest. Y'all could be dumb, just give us free labor or cheap labor, and we're good. We're even.
And they not sincere when they come over here on Bias Sports. They trying to undermine America, like Paul Moody was talking about, selling secrets and stuff. Man, black people, we don't do stuff like that. Loyal like an old hound dog, even with them spitting on us and disrespecting us. We don't do stuff like that. But a lot of them be looking to undermine America and take the resources that they earn here back over there. That's why you see them with their flags over here, and they don't be having the American flag, and the so-called white man, he's not even privy to this. It's like he ain't even paying attention to this stuff. And then when he look up one day and realize that his country has been infiltrated to the point of no return, he gonna be looking silly.
You know what's
As
crazy
Americans,
about
we're gonna be looking silly.
you know what's crazy about that? I asked a couple of my homies I work with. I said, you know, Mexican Independence Day parade and everything. I said, I ain't got no problem with y'all flying y'all flag. But I said, how many of y'all illegal? Man, they ain't say shit.
But what you said about the flags, is interesting because when I seen like, let's just throw out somebody. So when I see a person for Venezuela, they came over here probably as a refugee, who knows, but they're over here seeking a better opportunity. Like you would think that they'll be holding up the American flag because this is the place that's giving them a chance at like a great life. So you think they'd be chanting like, oh, because their country didn't do that. Like
We saved them from their failed homeland, from their
right,
failed homeland. I'm
right.
not gonna sugarcoat it. We saved them, literally.
Exactly. So you would think that they'd be proud to hold up the American flag.
No, they doubled down.
But when they put the Venezuelan flag, I'd be looking like, what about your success here does your country get the credit for? I like that would just confuse me. Like, yo, what?
Yeah, those are the signs of people coming to undermine America. They don't have America's best interests at heart.
Yeah, I mean, at least do both flags, do your flag and American flag. But
Ilhan Omar is a great example of how they come over here and undermine. She openly said Somalia is her first priority. She openly said it while doubling down on she's pro-immigrant and she's not for Black Americans. For all you Pan-Africans teaching us to trust them. Groundskeeper Willie, man, get up here and holler at me and stop running. Come on, Jabari, come talk to me.
He said groundskeeper.
Man, his genealogy goes back to some Black Europeans in Scotland.
Well,
he don't go back to nobody in Africa. They playing.
Where has he been at? Because I haven't heard him in a while. Where he's speaking at?
Running from me. He's hiding. Because here's the thing. Here's what I don't like about what he does on Bias Sports, and here's what I don't like about what Sonetta do over there. Now, as Israelites, when the small hats come on this platform and say the people of the Lord are not Black, right? The whole conscious and committed community give them a standing ovation. They throw it in our face. They say, "See, Israelites, and I guess it ain't y'all, right?" They give them a standing ovation, right? But when that Ottoman Turk Egyptian boy came up there and told Jabari to his face, "I'm not Black. We're Egyptians, and you guys are not Egyptians." Nobody wanted to give him a standing ovation.
Really?
Right? Or let's say I call them out to a debate, which I openly do call the committed community out to a debate, because I want y'all to have to abide by the same rules that we have to in debating and scholarship. I'll debate them that the Egyptians are not Black according to mainstream scholarship, academia, and the consensus. Dr. Hawass is my source. Game over. Game over.
We already
Game
know
over.
Over here, we already know that.
At Unbiased Sports, Dr. Hawass been digging up mummies since 1975. He's been the Minister of Antiquity and got a PhD from the University of Pennsylvania. Jabari Osasi ain't found a fingernail from 2 minutes ago, 2 inches under the ground, let alone a mummy from 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. And that's an example of the respect of persons. See, he gets to go over there and says, "Well, you guys don't source up, and you guys are pseudo, and this and that." But if I say Dr. Hawass is my source, then I got to pass tissue around the conscious community because of the tears creating a lake coming out of their eyes. Man, they all Shaka Utmost, Groundskeeper Willie. Man, tell them I'll debate them all at the same time. And Dr. Hawass is my source. All I got to do is pull up the Wikipedia in his bio, and they all destroy it.
Yeah, man. They be fighting that. So Deisman said the U.S. Congress have a mixed ethics. It's not just people that was born in America. Yes, they are citizens, but that means immigrants are contributing. Yeah, yeah, like nobody's denying the contribution.
And you got some immigrants that sincerely embrace being American citizens. They're not trying to undermine America, and they're thankful for the opportunity. I've met them personally in Minnesota. Ethiopians, Somalians, Mexicans, other Eastern Europeans. I've met them here as well as in California. You got some immigrants that's sincere about basically coming into the American culture and embracing it and representing the country. You got some of them that's sincere because it is about telling the truth and being unbiased.
Right.
Groundskeeper Willie, I'm looking for you, Pump. I'm looking for you too, Unc West. You know, Unc?
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me your scientific works. The so-called white man got scientific works in his garage without a laboratory. Show us a one experiment that you did. Always calling somebody pseudo. Nigga ain't made a book of matches with sulfur.
Where you talk to Unc at?
Me and him got into it on Sinetta TV because when I was talking, he interrupted me. So I called him Blank Man. And the sister was laughing at his ass. You know that movie Blank Man?
Yeah.
Where he got the little glasses on with the Radio Shack radio attached to the basket? That's Unc West. Right, a fake scientist. Tyrone's Laboratory with no scientific works. I'm going to call his channel Ray Ray's Laboratory.
Damn. When was this? How long ago?
This was probably like maybe a year and a half ago, but he was so disrespectful. Like I came on there and wasn't even talking to him, but he's pseudo. He was just taking shots at me. And I'm thinking in my mind, nigga, Ecolab and NASA don't know your silly, stupid ass. Man, we could call Ecolab tomorrow. Have you guys ever heard of a scientist named Unc West or Q Butter?
You said Q Butter?
Man,
oh shit.
Man, we could go there because he was talking crazy to me too.
What happened with Q Butter?
I just asked a simple question. I said, can you guys give me an example of the Big Bang Theory? Oh, you stupid, and you this, and you that. Man, my dad was actually a microbiologist, studied microbiology at UCLA. I just see him from a scientist. You niggas is wearing fitted hats on the corner on some bullshit. You niggas ain't no real scientists. Stop it. Ain't got a PhD in nothing in science. They was just so. See, when I go on his page, it's another idiot too named Sabio. I call him Ricky Bobby's daddy off of Talladega Nights because every time I come up there, he loses his brain in Applebee's just with me coming up there, right? And they were so disrespectful to me. And I would come over there and talk science, and they would make it about me believing I'm an Israelite. I wouldn't even mention that I believe I'm an Israelite. I would come over there talking about genetics and science, and they would make it about the Bible and me believing we Israel. They would bring it up. I would never mention it on this channel. Weirdos. Yes, Sabio ain't got no scientific works either, talking about he a historian. So you deserve to be mentioned in the same category as Cornelius Tacitus and Herodotus? You think so, Sabio? I call that nigga Indiana Jones.
Why?
Right. Because he's an actor. He's acting as a historian. He ain't no historian. Google the top 100 historians and see if Sabio names show up.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Let's call Princeton. Let's call Cambridge and see if they know Sabio.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I doubt it.
Go ahead, brothers. I don't want to go on my corrupt calling out names Hebrew Israelite rant, looking for all my YouTube enemies. I don't want to do that right now.
Brother. Hey, brother. Man, I've been thinking the same thing for years.
How you gonna say I'm not authentic, but Ecolab don't know you? Dr. Fauci know you, Blank Man, Groundskeeper Willie, Indiana Jones, JPL and NASA know you, man. They don't know you, man. They don't know you either, Chief X, and I love you, but you ain't no scientist. Shut up. You need to shut up too.
Man, you warn against everybody.
Yeah, man. This big swarthy, man.
Yeah, I was going to ask you too. I was going to ask you, what about you? But I was like, nah. And you said it first. All right, forget it. What about Sean? You debating Sean too?
Who is Sean?
Okay. What about Garfield?
I'll debate Garfield, and his book is good for toilet paper. The misconception about the Black Hebrew Israelites. It's good Charmin tissue to wipe my ass with, Garfield. I hope you listening too, Garfield, the big orange cat. Don't worry, y'all. I took him to Petco and got him vaccinated. He's safe. I'm gonna let him out the cage in a minute too. Don't worry. Right.
What about Vocab Malone?
I'll debate him too. According to the Bible is about three things: the God of Israel, the Messiah of the Israelites, and the Israelites. And if he can go scripture for scripture with me, that's my challenge for him. Go scripture for scripture with me, and whoever run out of scripture first lose. And if you run out of scriptures before me, I get to keep reading until I run out of scriptures. That's my challenge to Vocab. That's my challenge to all Christians worldwide that think it's okay for the world to get away with what they did to us. That's my challenge to all of them.
So somebody got a challenge for you in the chat. They said, who appointed alias Tariq Nasheed as the king of all blacks?
I'm the king of all blacks. Now what? And ain't nobody saying Tariq Nasheed is the king of all blacks. We just understand the concept of the idea of having respect for ourselves and forcing y'all to respect us. See, that's another one, bugging out. Because we said you can't come to the barbecue, or your diaspora friends that hate us can't come to the barbecue. It's not about Tariq Nasheed. Back to what I said, it ain't about who's right. It's about what's right. The concept that he put out there is right for our people. We are commanding respect. So either you're gonna respect us or you're gonna keep it pushing. So you're letting the overall idea and concept go over your head. And I've lived around Africans for quite some time. They culturally do not rock with us. And I can have, like I told you, bro, I'm gonna have a couple Somalians and a couple Habesha Ethiopians come on the platform, Unbiased Sports. I'm gonna have a couple of them come over here and let them tell you for themselves.
Yeah, I would love to hear it from them because I would definitely make a clip out of that.
I'm gonna have him come let you know how the immigration caseworkers show them all the worst things about Black Americans and tell them you need to stay away from them. Let me have y'all hear from the horse's mouth. I don't agree with everything Tariq Nasheed is saying. Tariq Nasheed then came out and said he's not an Israelite. We don't agree on everything.
Right.
But the concept of Black Americans having their own space and respect and crossing the line for all these people that's been spitting on us, I wholeheartedly agree with him on that.
Yeah, like even some tone talk points I don't agree with. So like there's some things that Tariq Nasheed says that I vehemently disagree with. And there's some things Tone Talk says that I disagree with. And I will have no problem with telling them, hey, man, I think you a little off right here. Hey, Tariq, right here, yeah, this ain't accurate with history, or you read into it incorrectly. I got no problem with that. But because, like you said, it's not about, for me, it's not about winning, it's about being correct. So
yeah, it ain't about me being right or you being, it's about what's right. It's about what's respectable. See, and you know what I do said that in the chat, and I said this over on Platinum Elite's page. See, with some Black Americans, they'd rather be accepted than respected. They're more focused on being accepted by the diaspora, even if they spit on you, than being respected. I'm about respect. I don't care if you don't accept me. I'm gonna force you to respect me by cutting you off. My kids ain't gonna cry if you don't want to sit. First of all, my kids ain't gonna want to sit next to you and yoke you. I'm not living my life like that no more, naive, like most Black Americans do, where they just teach their kids to love the world, while the other kids secretly go into their houses and learn from their parents. Oh, you better than them. I had a Mexican brother tell my cousin, because I'm from South Central Los Angeles. I had a Mexican brother tell my cousin, we used to teach our children that they are better than Black people. He openly admitted that to my cousin. This ain't no coincidence. I'm not just saying this. And I work with some very beautiful and sincere Mexicans at my job right now. Very respectful. If I'm hungry, they'll bring me food, always asking me how I'm doing. This is not to discard the people that have been sincere by us. But we have to address the cultural racism that people practice against us. We have to address the fact that the country collectively don't accept us as a group.
right. Yeah, man. SMH.
Hey, unbiased sports. Remember how I told you what I did in Leimert Park as a third degree black belt in the Black Karate Federation? I've been
Yeah.
in 14 kickboxing matches. I've been in 2 cage fights, and I've been teaching mixed martial arts and karate in Leimert Park for like 10 years, right? I was going to pull the Somalian and Ethiopian community and Mexican community and our community together to build a karate school here in Minnesota and not only teach the martial arts, but have an academy of academic excellence where we work with the kids with their homework, where we make sure they're reading at the grade level they're supposed to, where they work on being model citizens and having their mannerisms intact, where we build in classic men and virtuous women among all the families of the earth here. Even so-called white people could have brought their kids to my school. I was in the process of proposing that to all the groups of people up here. But I can't do it because they go back and they go back and talk bad about us in their home. They're practicing cultural racism against us. So I can't open up and make the rec center for everybody because I have to protect my people now. I got to tell my people the truth about how these people feel about us. So I'm not the person who lacks sincerity.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so tomorrow I'm gonna try to go live before the games come on. Because you know that they're gonna watch the games. They're definitely gonna watch the football games.
No, Vivek is wrong. We're going to tune in to the math competition, unbiased sports.
That ain't happening. That ain't happening. But like I said, like that Vivek speech, and the same, reaction he got from white America. That's what I've been getting from black America, at least from these spaces. I'm over here holding black folks accountable for the wrong they do, and I'm rewarding them for the good they do. Right? I'm not gonna reward you when you're doing wrong. I'm gonna chastise you. I'm gonna scold you, and I'm not gonna scold you and chastise you if you're doing right. I had to talk with IBM earlier, and he wanted to make black folks just blameless. Like nothing we do is bad or wrong. It's always the white man. Like, dude, you gotta stop that old Marcus Garvey talk, bro. You gotta stop that.
Okay, that ain't even close to the truth. Y'all might have to rebuke me on being the commanding general in the diaspora war, standing 10 toes down for FBA. You might have to reprimand me on some things, brother. And it is what it is. A wise man is supposed to accept correction and not be offended in it.
Well, here's a question for you, FBA. Why y'all don't have any smoke for the Arab that's been selling BS foods and buying all the gas stations?
Because we scared. We only gonna gang bang on each other and beat up on each other and trip on each other because we scared to really address the issue at hand and who the true enemy is of us. Because what's most conducive for us as a people, getting into science, engineering, and technology, getting our morals together, making sure our children have virtuous practices. Because the thing that's most conducive for us, black people, scared to do. That's why we're not willing to make those uncomfortable changes. Church.
And so I'm guessing his follow-up question be, well, what will make that happen? What finally will make black folks say, you know what, let's get on board and let's go ahead and address these Arabs and folks.
It's gonna hurt my heart to say this right now on Bias Sports. You got to accept the
Do
2.5
not
black
say
people that
heaven.
can hear
Do
you.
not say, hey, this guy die and go to heaven. Do not say that.
It's gonna hurt my heart to say this. We have to accept the 3.5 black people that can hear us. It is what it is, brother. You have to accept the 3.5 black people that understand. We gotta stop taking our children to the football coach and to the basketball coach, and we got to start taking them to the science fair. We got to start reading more. We have to stop watching so much TV. We have to start talking to our children about the importance of being virtuous.
That phone is killing them. That TikTok, they got studies on TikTok, like how it's purposely designed to keep people just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. IG and these things. It's purposely designed to get you locked in where you don't cut off. You just keep looking at the next one, the next one, the next one. And I'm with you with that though. That's my answer. I ain't trying to save everybody. I am not.
Because the thing is, unbiased sports, and when you look at the definition of what conducive means, that's going to require us to make uncomfortable changes. Meaning, we probably going to have to skip a couple NBA seasons and football seasons to get into science, so our children see us practicing science, so they see us reading more, so they see us practicing mathematics more. We have to start having our young men turn 18 and go after jobs that pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. We need more software techs. We need more data scientists. We need to prepare our young men to come into the prime of their manhood with resources, so it's a lot easier for the young Black women to come up under them as wives and trust them as far as securing resources. It's nothing wrong with a woman expecting a man to have resources. That's biologically natural. So we got to stop being offended in that, and we got to do better.
Yeah, because what did Vivek say? You know what? Yeah, right. Forget about the H-1B visas. Those tech jobs, Black Americans, they're all yours. You dig? How many Black Americans can really qualify right now for those positions?
A very small percentage of us, because we're too busy taking our sons to be the next Justin Jefferson, which is a rarity in itself. We don't focus on those things as a community.
And that's the thing, like, because he could pump you. He like, hey, you know what? All right, you're right. We ain't coming. Black Americans is all yours. We would be like, no, y'all got it. We are so, like you said, man, we really believe that being an NBA player is the end all be all. Being a football star, being a rapper, we really believe these things is what build a nation.
Being a cage fighter, being a boxer. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather, that's a grain of sand on the beach, the way he was able to market himself and be one of the highest grossing athletes probably ever. That's an anomaly, family. That don't happen it ain't 50 Floyd Mayweathers in our nation and race. Come on, Black people.
Right. But you know what we do? We find that one anomaly and we say, yep, we all can do that. That's what we do.
We turn the exception to the rule into a generalization of all of us.
So now if you go in there, then we gotta attack. Wait. The question was OnlyFans will have FBA women's value in 5 years. No, that's another thing. I see a lot of our women, young 17, 18-year-olds, moving to OnlyFans, really early in their age, 17, 18, 19. How do I know? Because I watch OnlyFans. I'm seeing,
you're being honest.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo, how old are you? But she got to be 18 because she couldn't even be on there. You got to be 18, even like viewing it, you can't even be on there. You can't set up an account, you're not 18. So, it's only, see, I'm always speaking, I watch it, but I always speak from a vantage where I know what I'm talking about. So I don't just throw something out there. Hey, they doing this on OnlyFans. They don't know. No, I know what's going on OnlyFans. Okay, so, and I'm seeing, like, this girl, I had to ask, like, yo, how old are you? Like, yo, you look like you still could be in high school.
And then when our daughters get to the point where they realize, you know what, I got to find a husband now. They done burnt their bridges in the earth and no man will marry them. And now they on YouTube crying about how they can't find a man, or they wasted their whole life doing it. So a lot of things concerning our community, we got to stop being jealous of our children that have the opportunity to do the pure and right thing. Okay, Eve, you might have been out there being promiscuous and doing some crazy stuff, but why don't you raise your daughter to be virtuous? Why don't you break those generational curses? All right, Jake, you might have made some mistakes out there. You don't make $100,000 a year. Why don't you take the young Black man and put him on the path to science, engineering, and technology? We're jealous of our children. Man, I'm telling some uncomfortable truths right now. We're jealous of our children.
Oh yeah, 100%, yeah, 100%, 100%. We see that they have access to things that we wish we had access to, and we like, man, if I didn't use that, you ain't gonna use it.
Right. We want them to get it out the mud instead of putting
Yeah.
them in a position to have a golden spoon in their mouth.
Yeah.
Backwards and ridiculous.
Parents still, FBA parents still, especially their young men, they do not equip them to have the necessary mindset or education to move out at an early age and get their own stuff together. Like you would see FBA women get out the house, anywhere from 17 to 25. They are. But the guys, no.
No, we baby them. And we
Yeah.
force Eve out there and we baby the young men.
Yeah.
Let them play video games all day and smoke weed.
That's crazy, man. Okay. So Deisman said he says America is land of the free. Anyone can come here, prosper, go home. It's called capitalism. FBA don't have nowhere to go. But so let me address that. Because that's kind of like what Vivek kind of said, but like Tone Talk said though. Tone Talk said for that to be true, you're erasing the history of slavery and Jim Crow. For that to be true. Because anyone couldn't come here, and that happened during pre-antebellum, post-antebellum slavery. What Deisman said, that cannot happen during Jim Crow. So that only could have happened after FBAs did the hard work and fought, sacrificed their bodies, sacrificed job, employment, whatever, job opportunities, all type dignity, being disrespected, all these opportunities now that non-Americans can, take advantage of. That could never happen if if slavery never happened and Jim Crow never happened.
You would never have the opportunity to flee from your failed homeland. And foundational Black Americans can go anywhere in the earth. I can work a job at McDonald's making $15 an hour and go to Ethiopia and convert my money over into Ethiopian birr and be the king over there with 50 wives. Stop playing with me, bro. You lucky we standing on some type of morality. Foundational Black American men can go around the earth and embarrass y'all with your own women with the power of the American dollar. You really want that smoke?
And speaking of women, our biggest problem, I believe, is what Vivek says. It's our culture in relationships, like how our parents raise us, or the lack of how our parents don't raise us to be family men and family women of our own. Like, there's really no guidance. They just go figure it out. You 17, 16, 18, 19. Hey, go figure out how to be a family man if that's what you want to do.
Get it out the mud.
Yeah, just go wing it.
Yeah.
And look, and make the same, because a lot of these parents don't want to be honest about how their failed decisions, in relationships, how they failed. It didn't work. It was unsuccessful. So they don't want to share that with their kids. So they allow their kids to make the same very mistakes they did in far as relationships. So
back to what I was saying, jealous of their children, that they have the opportunity to keep their virginity until they're really ready to
get
start
married
a family.
and do it
Jealous
the
of
right
their
way,
family,
live
jealous
with
of
their
their
parents.
kids, huh? Yeah. Right. See, because let me tell some more uncomfortable truths, if I could, on Bias Sports. Our young men should turn 18 with a $2,000 at least bare minimum inheritance from the fathers of our nation. We allow our young men to become adults with no resources.
Right.
When they are supposed to inherit the resources that we built. That's a part of loving your son and your people. You're supposed to be able to pass land and resources down to your son. My son should turn 18 with $300,000 in the bank, already owning a few houses and a couple of apartments, already having a coffee shop. So now when the young Black woman sees him, she sees the resources. Biology will compel her to come up under him and trust him as her head and her husband. Now she can trust doing it and not worry about if they're going to be okay, right? We don't teach our daughters to hold their virginities until they become adults. See, our daughters don't go from our houses as virgins to their husband houses. See, it's a lot of things that biologically we don't understand about each other and we're not willing to learn.
Man, their moms be coaching them to get that thing up early.
And it's okay, Mom, if you did it, but why not give your daughter the best chance to get it right? It's okay. I don't mind being merciful with the brothers and sisters.
See, the one thing I noticed about Yahushua, and this is one of the big problems I have with the camps. The one thing I noticed about Jesus, he handled the Israelites with mittens. He was never as disrespectful as the camps are to everyday working hard Hebrew Israelites living barely above the poverty line. I noticed Yahushua always handled us with mitts. Always. He was never that disrespectful to our people.
Right.
So it goes back to we don't love ourselves enough. Well, see, a brother that might have been gangbanging his whole life or made horrible decisions. Do you love your son enough to say, okay, I'm finna take you to this science fair. Nah, we ain't gonna play football. We ain't gonna watch TV all day. I need you to go over this math over and over and over. I need you to go over this science over and over and over. I need you to get down this English. I need you to speak English the right way. I need you to understand what it means to be a classic man. I need you to be competitive in a world built by men. We don't see it that way.
Yeah.
It's a lack of self-love, man.
So let me share my screen because Diceman he said something. I'm gonna share my screen. He said FBA gotta make up their mind because some FBAs are mad at Kamala for wanting to lock up parents for their kids' attendance. So let me share something on that. All right. Yeah, because and to answer that real briefly, it's because like Saint said, like we don't read, we're into sports and goofy shit where we don't really pay attention to the things that matter the most. So if you look at my screen, you see all my clips. You see all my clips, right? Watch this. It might not be this channel, it might be a different channel, but let's see if it's in here. It might be a different channel. I might have to change my channel. Yeah, it's not in this one. I don't think. Yeah, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is right here. Here she is. So we got Kamala Harris. So yeah, so bruh, look, accountability. So Kamala Harris dared to hold Black parents accountable, okay, for their contribution in messing up Black society because they're not doing what they need to do. They're not parenting well. And as a result, their kid is out there getting it from the, like you said, the mud, which is the streets.
Yep.
And you do that, you're going to be a burden on society and really your own society because you mainly live amongst yourselves. So here is a stat. Watch this. So this is what Kamala and her team figured out. This is undeniable.
Because the vast majority of offenders in our system are nonviolent offenders who within 2 years will be released from prison, having served their time. Remember this.
Okay, so these are real Black people that serve a time for a crime, and they'll be let out within 2 years because they're nonviolent. So they're not in there for a long time. Okay, so watch this.
Statistic I shared with you earlier. The average sentence in California is 24 months.
Yeah, so the average sentence in California is 24 months. So they're not in there long. I mean, they'll be back out real soon. Watch this.
Let me tell you what that tells you. There are two facts you can infer from that. One, the average prisoner has been sentenced for a nonviolent offense. If it's a violent offense, he's going in for 15 to life. The second fact, they're all coming out. And we don't have meaningful criminal justice policy for dealing with that. Because frankly, we've been ostriches. We've been sitting there thinking, okay, crime is committed, catch the thief, arrest him, prosecute him, send him to jail. Good, done with that guy. He's coming out in 24 months.
Okay, so watch this. Watch this. So look at her. So look at her plan of action. We're back on track.
Absolutely and truly invested, I believe, in achieving public safety. And for those reasons, I would suggest to you that we cannot afford to continue what we have been doing as a state or as a country, and that we in law enforcement and government, frankly, need to better adopt the principles that you in business understand, which is let's infuse metrics into our analysis and measurement of success. And instead of relying on the fact that we judge systems based on an adherence to tradition, we will judge ourselves based on whether we are producing our intended goal, which of course for law enforcement is public safety. So for that reason, in San Francisco, we pioneered what is essentially a public-private partnership to reduce recidivism, this reoffense rate, and we call it Back on Track.
There you go. So, and it was very successful. So it's because recidivism is first-time offenders going back to jail pretty fast after they're released. Okay, and she's saying that that's a big endemic in California. Okay, people go to jail, and they go to jail for the first time, and as a result, becomes a revolving door, like that, for whatever reason. So, and she's saying law enforcement they don't really address that. They just lock you up, throw away the key, and say, all right, bye-bye. And she's saying, but he's going to come back home, and he's going to try to find get back in criminal activity, and he's going to try to have a better way of not to go back. So, or he'll be more desperate not to go back. And so recidivism is bringing down the Black community, bringing all types of society. So this is what we're going to do. All right, but one thing I didn't play first was this. No, this. Okay, go ahead, come on.
Since 1980, California's population grew about 50%, but our prison population grew at a staggering 617%. The average prison sentence in California is 24 months. I'll get back to that fact later. 120,000 people are released from California prisons every year because they have served their time, but within 3 years of their release, 70% of them reoffend. That's called recidivism. California prisoners are released with $200 and a bus ticket, and they're sent back home. Meanwhile, they have no skills, no education, no work, and little to lose, and the only thing that has changed since they went to prison is that they've been in prison. And for all of this, we, as Californians, pay over $10 billion a year.
All right, so that's a little more context to that. Right, and this is just the recidivism that she's addressing. So let me pull up my truancy clips. It's like I'm gonna just use Jesse Lee Peterson word. It's amazing.
Let me tell you something on Bias Sports. I was born in 1985 in South Central Los Angeles, and I've lived in Inglewood, Compton, Watts, Long Beach. I could tell you right now, that truancy thing is church and religion in South Central in California and LA County. Yeah, I mean, some of the things that I've seen in LA, it being normal to come home and see the street is blocked off with yellow tape. In LA, we call the helicopter the ghetto bird. You know what I'm saying? So I done jumped on the back of ice cream trucks. I done flipped on dirty mattresses. Me and my parents, we lived in the ghetto for the majority of my life when I was in California. So I could attest to that truancy thing is a real thing in LA. A lot of our children ditching school in LA, especially during my era.
Yeah. So there's a lot to connect there, and which I'm gonna touch on because I was connecting pieces to a puzzle because recidivism stems from truancy. Truancy stems from truancy is in connection with the school to prison pipeline theory, and that. And what happens is the Black community stops right there. They stop at the school system and say, hey, man, school, pipeline, and we're done. It's like, no, those kids that go to school or don't go to school, they have parents. So let's not stop in school. Let's stop at the home. Kind of like Vivek said. Wait a minute. Let's look at the home. Because Vivek said, let's not stop at school. I said, no. So go to home. And that's what I've been saying. She didn't really say that, but she didn't say it at all. But I'm saying, well, she did, because she holding parents kind of accountable. Yeah, so she's been doing that. So I'm saying, no, let's go to the home. Let's look at the home. When you look at the home, you'll see where to start from. And it ain't truancy, it ain't recidivism, it ain't the start. The start is the home. When you go to the home, you will see what the real problem is and how to address it. Now, that is what people ain't going to do. So I'm going to tell you a quick solution I believe can work. I believe Black families should be guided to think about having kids at least early 30s, or the most earliest is late 20s. I think that is going to solve the recidivism. That's going to solve the prison to school pipeline. That's going to solve street gangs, all that type of stuff. Because you have a more level-headed parent now. You don't have no parent, 22-year-old, figuring out life for herself, still want to party, still want to, the guy still want to play video games, the dad still want to go to play basketball over raising a kid. They're kind of getting out of that. You did, like, the party days is over, the video games is over, those days are over, and they're more focused on the goal now, is to have a stable life, stable job, and a stable place and environment for their kids. But I'm saying we should consider having babies at a later age. Early 30s, probably the earliest. Okay. So I think you'd be more, you have your career, because if you're career minded, you don't have a career at 22. If anything, you're just starting it. And how are you gonna do that with a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old? Okay, that's where I want most of your time. So, and then again, you still want to do you. You don't want to work and go home and take care of a kid. You want to work, go home and hang out, chill out with no responsibilities. That's holding you, that's tying you, that's anchoring you to your home. So I believe that's something to consider. That if we want a quick solution to our destructive path, self-destructive path. So with that being said, Bizzle, I'm out of here. I'm gonna try to go live before the game, or most likely, hey, I'm gonna go live before the game.
All right, man. I'll get with y'all, man, tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Peace. So I'm gonna go live before the game, and if the live is good and we're cooking, I'll go live during the games. But if it's, people showing more interest in the game, then I'll just end the live, before the game start, and just let y'all have y'all football. All right. So peace.